Hello, and welcome to a special edition of the Devil's Kettle High School Drama Club script read. This is the Great Thanksgiving edition, of course. We will be doing You're Next, which is written by Simon Barrett and was directed by Adam Wingard. The people who did The Guest. We don't have Sharni Vinson or Dan Stevens, but by God, we're gonna do as best as we can. But thank you all for watching, and you can hear the babies are excited. The baby puppies are excited. You can hear them, and I'm excited too. So let's get the ball rolling. You know me. I'm Jamie Alvey. I will be narrating today. And let's start at the top of the list. Let me get her up right now. We will go with Aubrey, who will be played by the lovely Dolores.
Hello. Am I supposed to give more of an introduction?
You can if you want to.
Okay. I'm an actress and a writer in the Los Angeles area. I'm from Southern California. I've done immersive theater. I write lots of criticism, and waiting out my applications to both Rotten Tomatoes and Sundance 2020.
That is so awesome. Oh my God. Next, we have the wonderful Jason as Paul.
Hello, I'm Paul. I'm Jason. I write at filmruminations.com, and well, I guess that's really, I enjoy spending time with all these lovely people. So thank you.
No, thank you. Now we have Aaron as Aaron because it had to happen.
Yes, this is my birthright. I'm so excited to play this role that I was born for, truly. I'm Aaron. I work in animation. I live in LA. I act, I write, I write for Night Fair on Film Street as well. So huge horror movie geek. Love this crew. So excited.
And now we have Laura as Christian, who is she's Aaron's boyfriend today.
I am. And I'm Aaron's potential sister-in-law. I'm wearing a lot of masks. I'm a writer, a seamstress, librarian, and I'm just happy to be here. Jamie, you're muted.
I don't know if I'm ever going to get the hang of that, even though I do this for a living too. And next we have Devin, who will be playing Drake and calling Molly a degenerate today.
Not only will I be calling Molly a degenerate, which is something I've been looking forward to doing since the moment we met on the chat rooms and hashtags of the last drive-in, I am playing Drake today. Normally I am a game show host and professional MC, and you can see the stuff that we're putting on for the charity telethon Who Needs Sleep, December 5 and 6 at whoneedssleep.org, 36 hours to fight cancer. So there's the plug.
All right, and next we have Laura again, who's going to be playing Z, as well as Crispian. We have Emily, who's going to be taking on multiple roles too. So take it away, Emily.
Hi, I'm Emily, and I will be playing Amy and also Fox Mask. And I am a broken shell of a human being. But these readings have really kept me going. And so I'm super happy to be here. I got my Devil's Kettle Drama Club t-shirt on, and I'm very, very excited, and things are looking up.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay, and that of course I'm narrating, and we have Melissa who will also be narrating and playing Kelly.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I live in St. Louis, and this is the second script read that I've done. I'll be Kelly and then narrating, like Jamie said. And I also have a podcast called the Good Evening Kitties podcast that is all about Tales from the Crypt, as well as horror movies. So be sure to check that out. And yeah, I'm excited. Let's do this.
Okay, and I will just dive in right here. If you hear any puppy noises, oh my God, I forgot. Jesus H. Christ, what is wrong with me?
So
We
rude.
can't forget Molly, who will be playing none other than Felix, the Degenerate.
Yes. And I like playing degenerate men apparently, because this is the second script read that I'm doing this.
Your Scott Baio will go down in history as the
Thank
best Scott Baio because you're better than the real Scott Baio.
I mean,
Amen
I
to
feel like
that.
that doesn't take much. But thank you. Molly, I'm a film critic and horror entertainment writer, and I'm also working on doing horror fiction, and I'm in the very early research stages of figuring out stuff for a screenplay that I'm going to do as well. And Anton wanted to say hi as well.
Oh, baby. Okay. As I was saying, if you hear any jubilant little puppy noises, I can't contain them and I can't control them. They control me these days. I think one of them's found them like a bottle cap and she's throwing it around and going and getting it. And I'm like, oh, you cute. They love trash. They're the trash babies now. They love trash. I don't know why, but she is so cute right now. But we're going to get right into it. And again, I'm sorry for my trash babies. There's no controlling them. Fade in. Exterior. Eric Carson's house. Night. An isolated cedar house is positioned a short distance from a narrow paved road. Barren trees surround the rear of the house. Several lights are on inside the house, shining out into the dark front yard. A car is parked in the driveway. Interior, Eric Carson's house, bedroom, night, sweating. Talia, a woman in her 20s, rolls over onto her back, naked. She is lying on the queen-size bed. A man in his early 40s, Eric Carson, lies next to her. They both stare silently up at the ceiling. Eric is somewhat out of breath. Neither of them looks particularly satisfied. Talia abruptly sits up. Talia, I'm going to get a drink. You want one? Eric shakes his head. Talia rises and exits the room. Interior, Eric Carson's house. Front room, continuous. Naked, Talia walks from the bedroom into the front room. She hits a couple of buttons on the stereo. A loud rock music begins playing. Nodding her head and swaying slightly to the music, Talia heads for the kitchen. Interior, Eric Carson's house. Bedroom, night, continuous. Eric is still lying on the bed. The music Talia put on the stereo is audible from the bedroom, echoing throughout the house. With a sigh, Eric rises to his feet and heads towards a bathroom adjoining the bedroom. A moment later, the sound of the shower turning on is audible from the bathroom. Interior, Eric Carson's house. Kitchen, night, continuous. In the kitchen, Talia pours vodka from a bottle into a glass partially filled with orange juice and ice. She bobs her head to the song that is playing as she screws the cap back on the bottle. Sipping at her drink, Talia starts to exit the kitchen. Then she stops moving, looking at something in front of her. A pair of glass doors lead out from the kitchen into the backyard. One of the doors is open, just an inch or so. as if it slipped off its latch. Talia hesitates, then peers outside through the glass door into the backyard of the house. Exterior. Eric Carson's house, backyard, night. From outside the house, Talia's nude form is clearly visible, illuminated within. The music inside just barely audible. She looks out through the glass doors into the dark yard, lifting a hand to shield her reflection on the glass so she can see more clearly. The backyard of the house is dark and empty. Interior, Eric Carson's house, bathroom, minutes later. Eric washes himself in the shower, rubbing shampoo through his hair. The room is filled with steam. The shower curtain is opaque so that Eric cannot see the rest of the bathroom. There's a noise from outside the bathroom in the hallway. I've lost my place, apparently. There is a noise from outside the bathroom in the hallway. Eric hesitates. He lowers his head under the shower faucet, rinsing the shampoo from his hair. He then calls out, "Talia, that's you? You can come in here if you want." There is no response. The bathroom door, which is slightly ajar, creaks open further, just a few inches. Eric does not notice the door move. He listens for a reply, then shrugs and continues bathing himself. Interior, Eric Carson's house, bedroom, hallway, night. Eric steps out of the bathroom holding a towel wrapped around his waist. The same rock song is still playing distantly on repeat. Eric looks up and down the hallway. Near the door to the dark room, a small amount of what looks like orange juice mixed with vodka is spilled on the floor. A couple of melting ice cubes rest in the center of the spill. Eric frowns down at this, puzzled. Talia? Eric moves toward the bedroom, stepping over the puddle in his bare feet. Interior, Eric Carson's house, bedroom, night, continuous. The lights in the bedroom are off. Eric comes to a stop facing the window. Most of the illumination in the room comes from the backyard light, which shines in through the window. The words, "You're next," have been written on the inside of the bedroom window in blood. Beneath the window, Talia's dead body lies crumpled on the floor, her back to Eric. Her hair, matted with dark blood, covers her features. Eric, standing naked, stares speechlessly at Talia's body in front of him. His towel has dropped from his waist to the floor. He does not appear to be aware of this. A dark figure is now standing directly behind Eric, only about a foot away. Its face is not visible in the darkness. In a quick movement, the figure reaches for Eric. Cut to exterior, Edelweiss Drive, dusk. A couple, Paul and Aubrey Davison, white 60s, drive their polished Jeep down a winding rural road. The sun is beginning to set through the trees behind them. They drive the Jeep past Eric Carson's cedar house. His car is still parked in the driveway. Interior, Paul's Jeep, dusk, continuous. Aubrey glances over at Eric's house as they near it. Aubrey, looks like sorry. Go.
Looks like Eric Carson's here. That's strange.
Paul looks over, following her gaze. All of the lights in Eric Carson's house are still on.
I think I heard something about him and Linda getting separated. He might be living here now.
Aubrey makes a disappointed noise.
That's a shame. We should check in on him later, see how he's doing.
Paul nods. They continue driving past Eric's house. Exterior, Davison Mansion. Evening, minutes later. Paul pulls the Jeep into the driveway of a large, isolated mansion. He and Aubrey climb out and walk to the house, carrying luggage. Paul fumbles for a key in his pocket. He moves to unlock the front door, then turns the key loosely in the lock.
Well, that's odd.
What?
It's unlocked.
Paul turns the doorknob and pushes the heavy front door open. Interior, Davison Mansion. Entryway. Evening, continuous. Paul steps into the doorway, peering into the house. It is dark and empty. Paul steps inside, leaving the door open. Aubrey follows him. The house is partly in a state of disrepair. Protective sheets are draped over the furniture. Paul switches on the light in the entryway and looks around.
Huh. It doesn't look like anyone's been here. I guess the workers must have left it unlocked the last time they were here. Safe neighborhood.
Aubrey is taking in the dim front room to the house.
This place still needs so much work. Why couldn't we all have just gotten together at the condo instead?
We've discussed this. Crispin didn't want to drive the extra 3 hours, and this is just as close to the airport.
Yes, I know.
Paul's cell phone buzzes in his pocket. He takes it out and looks at it, hitting buttons.
Speaking of Crispin.
What's going on?
Oh, I guess
What's
he
going
got
on?
he and his new girl are running late. They won't get here till about 11 or so.
At least that gives us a couple of hours to clean up around here.
That's the spirit. I'll go bring the groceries in and check on the furnace if you want to get started on this floor.
Might as well.
And Paul nods and exits. Aubrey sets her bags down and heads towards the front door. Interior, Davison Mansion. Front room, evening, continuous. Aubrey approaches a large dining room table that is covered with a white sheet. She takes a corner of the sheet and pulls it off the table, sending motes of dust wafting into the air. Aubrey waves the dust away from her face, then begins folding the sheet. Interior, Crispin's car. Evening. Crispin, a bearded man in his mid-30s, drives a sedan along a dark highway. In the passenger seat is Erin, 20s, attractive. She scrolls through her cell phone in the dark car.
We should be there pretty soon. I think I remember this from when Dad showed us this place.
Crispin glances at the passing sign.
Nope, maybe not.
So your parents are pretty loaded?
I guess so. When my dad retired from KPG last year, he got some insane severance package. He was a VP for like 20 years. I don't know the number, but my mom said something about mid-7 figures.
KPG? Like the defense contractor? You never told me your father worked for them.
Yeah, he was just in marketing though. Oh shit, sorry, I lost my place. He was just in marketing though. Why, is that a problem for you, baby? Having dinner with fascists?
Not at all. I told you I want to meet your family. I hope this means there's going to be some good booze at your place, though.
Probably not. My mom's on medication.
Oh, we should stop and get some then.
Good thinking.
They continue driving down the dark highway. Interior, Davison Mansion, kitchen, night. Aubrey enters the kitchen. She wets a rag at the kitchen faucet, then begins wiping down the counter. Above Aubrey, the ceiling creaks. She ceases her work, listening. Above the sound of footsteps is clearly audible on the floor above Aubrey. Not overly loud, but distinct, like someone trying to walk quietly in heavy boots. The sound moves across the ceiling to the corner nearest the outside wall, then ceases. The house is silent. Aubrey resumes wiping the counter.
Hey,
Aubrey spins around, startled, dropping her rag. Paul is standing direct behind her in the doorway to the kitchen. Paul,
I'll need your help putting these putting together these beds. What?
Paul notices
You
the look.
weren't you weren't just upstairs?
No, I haven't been up there yet. I had to light the furnace.
Did you hear that just now?
To hear what?
I heard footsteps upstairs. There's someone in the house, some homeless person or squatters or something.
Are you sure it's an old building?
It was footsteps, Paul. We need to get out of here right now.
Oh, okay.
Paul allows Aubrey to lead him out of the kitchen. Interior, Davison Mansion. Entryway, night. Moments later. When Paul and Aubrey reach the entryway, Paul stops. Aubrey continues moving for the front door, then looks back at Paul.
Okay, listen. You go outside. Go wait in the car or something. I'm going to go, excuse me, and check out upstairs.
No, come with me.
It's probably just the house settling, Aubrey.
Aubrey stares at Paul. Paul sighs.
Here, I'll take this, okay?
Paul lifts a heavy walking stick from where it is leaning near the door.
Happy?
Aubrey says nothing.
Go wait in the car, listen to the radio or something, and I'll be right out.
Paul moves towards the stairs, leading up the second floor. Aubrey hesitates, then slowly steps outside. Exterior, Davison Mansion. Upstairs, hallway, continuous. Paul climbs the stairs to the dark second floor, holding the walking stick out in front of him. At the top of the stairs, Paul hesitates, looking up and down the hallway. Several doorways extend from the hallway, leading into dark bedrooms. Paul moves a distance down the dark hallway, then flicks on a light switch, illuminating it. Paul hesitates, then, looking somewhat embarrassed, calls out down the hallway.
Is anybody up here?
The floor is silent. Paul's voice echoes slightly throughout the empty floor. Paul waits for a moment, then shakes his head, relaxing his posture slightly. He continues moving forward. Exterior, Davison Mansion, front yard, night, continuous. Aubrey stands on the front lawn near the Jeep, her arms crossed in front of her, shivering in the cold. A strong breeze moves the leaves in the trees on either side of the yard. Aubrey looks up at the shifting leaves. A rustling sound comes from nearby. Aubrey starts turning around. A cluster of dead leaves tumble across the driveway, pushed by the wind. Aubrey turns back toward the house.
Paul?
Interior, Davison Mansion, master bedroom. Moments later. Paul steps from the hallway into a large bedroom featuring a king-size bed with sheets and a blanket on it. The bed is made, a lamp next to it. Paul flicks on the wall light switch and looks around the room. He is the only person in the room. Paul starts to turn back into the hallway when a creaking sound comes from behind him. Frowning, Paul slowly turns back around, facing into the bedroom. The bedroom closet door is open a couple of inches. Inside, the closet is dark. Nothing is visible within. Paul frowns as if trying to remember if the closet was open before. No further sound comes from the closet. Hesitantly, Paul takes a step forward. A hand slaps down on Paul's shoulder. Paul spins around with a yell, raising the walking stick. Crispin is standing behind Paul, holding a bottle of whiskey. He raises it defensively.
Whoa, Dad!
Paul quickly lowers the walking stick, puts his other hand on his chest.
Jesus Christ, Crispin.
Yeah,
Crispin takes a step back toward the hallway, his eyes still on the walking stick in Paul's hand.
Dad, not to get off on the wrong foot or anything, but why is Mom standing in the front yard and crying?
Exterior, Davison Mansion. Front yard, continuous. Erin is standing next to Aubrey in the front yard, one hand on her shoulder. Aubrey's mascara is streaked. She looks up as Paul and Crispin approach. Paul moves to stand by his wife. She sniffles.
It's fine. Crispin and I looked everywhere in the room on the second floor. There's nobody there. It's just an old house and they make noise.
I'm so silly. You're probably so embarrassed.
No, Mom, it's fine. Dad, this is Erin.
It is lovely to meet you, Erin.
Likewise, Mr. Davison.
They shake hands. Pause. Crispin hefts the bottle he is holding.
We brought whiskey.
Interior, Davison Mansion, guest bedroom, night. Erin and Crispin, slightly tipsy, get undressed for bed. Erin looks around the sparse bedroom.
So your dad bought this place to fix up?
Yeah, it's supposed to be his retirement project or something, give him something to work on. Except so far, I think he's just been paying other people to work on it.
You folks seem cool. I mean, for people with money. I mean, you're lucky.
I guess so.
You are. You don't know what most people would give to have folks like yours.
Whatever that means.
They climb into bed. Erin snuggles up to Crispin, whose eyes are open, looking up at the ceiling.
Your brothers and sisters are getting in tomorrow?
Yep. Tomorrow's my parents' actual anniversary.
35 years. Can you imagine?
I can't really.
Well, I'm looking forward to meeting the rest of your family tomorrow.
Yeah, they're something. First time we've all been together in a while. Should be interesting.
How so?
Yeah, you'll see.
Erin closes her eyes. Interior, Davison Mansion, master bedroom, night. In the spacious bedroom down the hall, Aubrey and Paul lie next to each other on a king-size bed. Paul is wearing a sleep mask. There is a creaking outside the room, like that of a heavy weight shifting on the floorboards. Aubrey frowns in her sleep, but does not open her eyes. The noise comes again. The sound of slow, deliberate footsteps moving down the hall outside their bedroom, like someone large trying to walk quietly. Aubrey's eyes open. She listens at the sound of footsteps recede down the hallway.
Paul. Paul.
Paul does not move. Aubrey reaches out and shakes his shoulder, still whispering softly.
Paul.
What?
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
Footsteps in the hallway.
It's probably just Crispin or his girlfriend.
Paul rolls back onto his side.
Their bedrooms at the other side of the hall.
Maybe it's, what's her name? Erin. Erin is, maybe she's looking for something.
It didn't sound like Erin.
Go back to sleep, Aubrey, please. We locked every door and every window before we went to bed. Now we're in the middle of nowhere, and nobody is going to break in here.
Aubrey looks at Paul's masked face for a long moment, then turns onto her other side and reaches for a prescription bottle of on her bedside table. She taps out a pill, considers, then taps out a second one. She reaches for a glass on the table. The glass is empty. Only a few drops of water remain at the bottom.
Drat. Drat.
Interior, Davison Mansion. Upstairs, hallway, night. Aubrey, wearing a robe and slippers, exits the master bedroom, holding her empty glass in one hand. Aubrey anxiously looks up and down the hallway, then shakes her head as if embarrassed with herself and steps forward. She walks slowly down the hallway, moving quietly. The floorboards creak lightly under her feet, much softer than the noise she heard in bed. Aubrey hesitates as if considering this, then continues past the guest bedroom toward the stairs. Interior, Davison Mansion, kitchen, night. Aubrey walks through the dark dining room into the kitchen. As Aubrey turns, a face is visible in one of the kitchen windows behind her, barely discernible. A figure wearing some sort of animal mask over his face is peering inside the kitchen from the dark front yard, watching Aubrey. The figure is still, only just visible in the corner of the window frame. Aubrey does not notice the face in the window. Still moving quietly, she steps into the kitchen and crosses to the counter. Aubrey begins to fill a glass with water from a glass bottle. As she does so, the figure in the window suddenly ducks out of sight. A second later, a light turns on outside, illuminating a patch of front yard as if a security light with a motion sensor was just triggered. Nothing is visible through the illuminated window. Aubrey still does not notice this. She tosses her 2 pills into her mouth and swallows them with a long drink of water. She then blinks as if already feeling the pills take effect. Dreamily, Aubrey turns around. She does not appear to register that the security light is on outside until it suddenly goes dark when she is halfway across the room. Aubrey stops, frowning, still holding her glass of water. She steps to the window. Aubrey looks out into the dark front yard at the house, her breath fogging the cold window panes. Nothing is visible outside. A large breeze moves the barren branches of the trees in the yard. Aubrey watches the wind move the limbs of the tree. She blinks slowly, then turns and exits the kitchen. Interior, Davison Mansion. Upstairs, hallway, night. Aubrey sleepily walks down the dark hallway and enters the master bedroom. Paul is still lying on his side in bed, facing away from her. Interior, Davison Mansion. Master bedroom, night. Aubrey shuts the door behind her and crosses to her side of the bed. She sets down her glass of water and climbs under the covers, curling up next to Paul. Aubrey is almost immediately asleep, her face relaxing, her breathing soft and regular. Paul's breathing is quiet as well, muffled by his pillow. Interior, Davison Mansion, guest bedroom, night. In the guest bedroom, Aaron is curled up next to Crispin, asleep. Crispin is seated in bed, propped up against his pillow. He is reading a book with a small reading light clamped to its cover, making notes in its margins with a pen. Crispin looks tired and restless. He flips a page, adjusting his reading light. A creaking sound comes from across the room. Crispin looks up at the noise. The closet door across from the bed is just slightly ajar so that Crispin can see into the closet. The interior of the closet is completely dark. Sitting in bed, Crispin looks into the dark closet for a long moment, frowning. In bed, next to him, Erin suddenly shifts, rolling over onto her back. She mumbles inarticulately. Crispin looks at her, startled, the moment broken. He watches Erin sleep for a moment, then reaches out and brushes a strand of her hair from her face. Erin frowns in her sleep at his touch, then resumes sleeping quietly. Crispin smiles, switches off his light, and shuts his book. He lies down in the bed next to Erin, draping one arm over her, and shuts his eyes. Interior, Davison Mansion. Guest bedroom, morning. Crispin eyes snap open. He is alone in the bed. Morning light is streaming through the windows. Crispin looks around the room in bleary confusion, blinking sleepily. Interior, Davison Mansion. Library, continuous. In the house's library, Aaron's seated on the sofa, opposite a couple in their mid-30s, Drake and Kelly, who are wearing expensive clothing and wedding rings. They are all watching a football game on a large television. Crispin is now dressed in jeans and a sweatshirt. Enters the library, rubbing his eyes. Drake looks up at Crispin's approach.
Hey, little brother, get a good night's sleep?
Yeah, I guess I did.
Drake and Crispin awkwardly shake hands. You know, as you do with your brother.
Hey, Kelly, when did you guys get in?
Just an hour ago.
Cool.
Crispin sits down next to Aaron, who leans up against him. Interior, Davison Mansion. Kitchen, afternoon. Aubrey works in the kitchen, washing dishes. Aaron appears in the doorway behind her. Aubrey does not seem to notice Aaron. Aaron politely clears her throat. Aubrey looks back at Aaron.
Hey, I was just wondering if I could help you in here with anything.
Aubrey smiles thinly.
No, I think I've got it under control. Thank you.
Aaron nods politely and moves to exit. Aubrey hesitates and then calls after her.
Aaron? Actually, we're almost out of butter or margarine. I have enough to cook with, but not enough for the table. The store's too far, but I was wondering if you could drive over to our neighbor's and see if he has some. His name's Eric. He knows us.
Aaron smiles brightly, as if relieved to have a task.
Sure thing. I saw the house when Crispin and I drove in. I'll just walk there if it's not too urgent. I could use to stretch my legs.
That's fine.
Aubrey turns back to the sink. Aaron exits the kitchen. Interior, Davison Mansion, library. Moments later, Aaron walks through the library using a wooden door hidden in the wall to step out onto the back porch. Exterior, Davison Mansion, backyard, afternoon. On the dark porch, Paul and Crispin are treating boards with wood stain, positioned across two sawhorses. Crispin brushes the boards while Paul watches his work. Drake stands nearby, watching them both, drinking from a bottle of beer. Aaron emerges from the house behind them.
Hey guys,
All three men turn to look at Aaron.
your mom asked me to walk over to the neighbors, see if we could borrow some margarine. Anyone need anything?
Paul and Crispin look up at Aaron. Paul shakes his head.
We're fine.
Crispin smiles at Aaron. Aaron smiles back at him and quickly takes a small digital camera out of her pocket.
Hold that.
Crispin continues smiling. Paul and Drake face the camera with Crispin, somewhat awkwardly. Aaron quickly snaps a photo of Crispin, Paul, and Drake. She checks the view screen on the back of her camera. The three men look slightly uncomfortable in their poses.
Great. Okay then. See you guys in a bit.
I'm gonna go check on Kelly.
Paul nods. Drake goes inside, leaving Paul alone with Crispin. They work in silence for a moment.
Huh. How is that fellowship coming along?
Oh, I didn't get it.
No?
No, I guess they had a lot of applicants and I haven't exactly been published recently.
Uh-huh. I'm very sorry to hear that.
It's always next year.
Paul says nothing, focusing on his work. Interior, Davison Mansion, spare bedroom, continuous. Drake steps inside the spare room on the second floor. The shower is running in a bathroom adjoining the spare bedroom. Drake looks around the bedroom. The sound of the water running in the bathroom comes to a stop. Drake looks up at this. Interior, Davison Mansion, spare bathroom, continuous. Drake opens the door to the spare bedroom's bathroom. Kelly is toweling off in the shower.
Hey,
Hey, shut the door.
Drake shuts the door behind him. Kelly continues drying her body. Drake wipes steam off the mirror and examines his reflection.
Where did your brother find that girl anyway?
what, Aaron?
Yeah.
I think she took one of his classes. Yeah, I know. Maybe she was his teaching assistant or something. I get the stories confused. At any rate, she's a grad student now.
That's kind of weird. So he was her professor?
Yeah, well, adjunct professor.
Kelly moves next to Drake and begins rubbing moisturizer on her face in small circles.
I guess it's probably hard for him to meet women his age given his career prospects.
Well, not every man gets as lucky as me.
Drake reaches out to cup one of Kelly's bare breasts. Absently, she swats his hand out of the way, continuing to apply moisturizer.
Well, it helps that you're not a complete loser.
That's true. Hey, you got any Vicodin?
In my purse.
In exterior, Eric Carson's house, front yard, afternoon. Humming to herself, Erin walks down the road towards Eric Carson's house. His car is still parked in the driveway and the lights in the house are still on, despite it being daylight out. Erin takes this in, then walks up the path to the front door of Eric's house. She knocks on the door. The rock song playing in Eric Carson's house is faintly audible from outside. Erin waits several seconds, then knocks again. There is no response. Erin moves forward and peers in through a window on the side of the door. Erin can only see part of the front room of Eric's house from her vantage point. The lights are on, but no one is visible inside. She can just see the corner of the sofa in the living room. Erin steps back. She hesitates, then calls out.
Excuse me? Anyone home?
Again, no response. Erin waits for another moment, then shrugs. She turns and heads back up the road. Interior, Eric Carson's house, front room. Continuous. In the living room, just outside of view from the window, the back of Eric Carson's head is visible. He is seated on the sofa, facing the stereo. The hair at the back of his head is matted and dark. The pop song that is playing on the stereo comes to an end, then begins again, on repeat. Eric does not move. Exterior, Davison Mansion, front yard, evening. A rental car pulls up in the driveway of the Davison vacation house. Its engine turns off. 4 people are in the car. In the driver's seat is Tariq, a handsome Arab American man in his late 20s. In the passenger seat is Amy, mid-30s, pretty. In the back seat are Felix, a young man in his early 20s with a shaved head, and Z, a young woman, same age with short cropped hair in a trendy punk style. They all climb out of the car. Felix immediately takes out a cigarette and lights it. Z makes a clicking sound with her tongue, and Felix tosses the pack to her over the car. Z catches it one-handed, taking out a cigarette for herself. Amy and Tariq look back at the younger couple.
Well, we're going in.
Felix gestures at his cigarette.
Right behind you.
Okay.
Amy rolls her eyes, and she and Tariq head up to the house. Just then, the front door opens, and Aubrey comes out, drying her hands on a dish towel.
Amy.
Hi, Mommy.
Aubrey and Amy embrace. By the car, Felix looks over at Z and shrugs. They both grind out their cigarettes underfoot. Aubrey turns to Tariq.
And you must be Tariq.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, it's very nice to meet you.
Felix and Z approach.
And Felix.
Hey, Mom.
Aubrey hugs Felix, who grimaces.
I'd like you to meet Z.
Z, is that short for?
It's just Z, Mom. 2 E's.
Z nods.
Oh, well, that's unique. Nice to meet you, Z. Come inside. Everyone come in.
They all file inside, Aubrey leading Tariq and Amy in front of her. Felix following behind. Z is the last one to go inside. She pauses before she does, looking around the front yard and the barren trees that surround it. Nothing appears to be visible. Z blinks slowly, then turns and goes inside. Interior, Davison Mansion, entryway, evening. Amy, Tariq, and Felix are already in the entryway with Crispin, Aaron, Aubrey, and Paul. Exchanging greetings, Amy gives Aaron a quick hug while Crispin and Felix clasp hands.
Good to see you, Felix. And Z, always a pleasure.
Z smiles at Crispin and nods quickly.
And you're Aaron.
Right. Nice to meet you.
Aaron and Felix shake hands politely.
Yeah, good to finally put a face to your name. I've heard a lot about you from Crispin. All of it flattering.
Aaron smiles, blushing, and turns to Z.
Z, right? I'm Aaron.
I know.
Aaron and Z shake hands. Paul clears his throat.
Well, it is good to finally have the whole family together again. Anybody want a drink? We've got wine.
Felix and Crispin speak simultaneously.
Yeah, I will.
Well,
I'll get right to that.
Paul moves into the kitchen. Aubrey clasps her hands together.
It's just so great to see everyone. Dinner will be ready in less than an hour. I hope you're hungry.
Aubrey turns and follows Paul into the kitchen. Interior, Davison Mansion, front room, evening. The entire family, Paul, Aubrey, Crispin, Drake, Kelly, Amy, and Felix, and their guests, Aaron, Tariq, and Z, sit crammed around a large dining table. The table is packed with food. A large window faces the front yard.
Everything looks great, Mom. Swear to God, it really does. Yes, it looks great. Yes.
Yes, it does. So let's get started.
Paul bows his head. Aubrey, Amy, Drake, and Kelly immediately follow suit. Tariq looks around, then does the same. Crispin, Aaron, Felix, and Z keep their heads upright. Felix and Crispin exchange a look. Crispin grimaces. Felix rolls his eyes. Paul speaks quickly.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank thee for this food. Feed our souls on the bread of life and help us do our part in kind words and loving deeds. Amen.
Everyone raises their heads. Paul stands up and begins serving out food. He turns to Z, who is seated next to him.
Z, would you prefer white or dark meat?
I'm vegan.
You are? Felix, you never told me that.
I didn't?
Meanwhile, Drake and Tariq are engaged in conversation.
So, Tariq, what do you do?
I'm a filmmaker.
Oh, anything I've seen?
There's a series not far from here, the Cleveland Underground Film Festival. Did you go to that?
No, I guess I must have missed it.
Oh, I had a short film there last year.
Hey, you ever thought about directing commercials?
I haven't
He doesn't
really
want to direct commercials, Drake.
Okay, then.
Before Tariq can continue, Drake turns away.
Aaron.
Aaron looks up,
Yeah?
not having been paying attention.
Yeah.
How about you? Are you still in school?
Yeah, this is my last year. I'm finishing my master's.
Tariq, distracted, frowns at something outside the window. Drake gestures at Crispin.
And are you two still working together?
No, Aaron is no longer my TA. We didn't think it was appropriate.
Aaron and Crispin exchange a smile.
Yeah, probably not too professional.
Crispin turns and sets down his fork. Tariq is still staring outside.
What's that supposed to mean?
What?
Probably not too professional? Something on your mind?
No, I mean, you said it wasn't appropriate, and I agreed with you.
I don't think you're in a position to be judging my moral decisions.
Can't we have a dinner without you two arguing?
Felix takes a drink of wine, ignored by everyone. Tariq rises and moves over to the window.
I'm not going to rise to the bait on that. I was just agreeing with you. That's all.
Okay, fine. Let's drop it.
Fine.
Hey, what is that guy doing? Everyone looks over at Tariq, who's standing in front of the window. At that exact moment, a short crossbow arrow smashes through the glass pane of the window and hits Tariq square in the forehead. Amy gasps. Tariq takes a step back, then turns to face the family. There is an arrow sticking out of his head. Blood is flowing down his face. Everyone is silent in shock. Tariq, his eyes looking upward, reaches up tentatively to touch the arrow that is protruding from his forehead. His fingers almost reach it. Then he pitches forward as Tariq drops the arrow and his head hits the edge of the kitchen table, driving it further into his brain. Beneath the dining room table, Tariq's face impacts the floor, jamming the point of the arrow out through the back of his skull. Everyone stares at Tariq's corpse. Felix is the first to move.
Holy fuck!
Felix leaps out of his seat as another arrow crashes through the window and embeds itself in the back of Paul's chair with a thunk. Yelling with surprise, Paul throws himself to the floor. Suddenly, the room is screaming pandemonium as everyone tries to get away from the windows. All the families scramble in different directions, running to the side and crawling along the floor. 3 more arrows fly into the room in quick succession. As everyone flees, 2 of them hit the wall, and the 3rd sticks into Drake's shoulder as he runs into the kitchen. He is the last to leave the dining room. Drake hits the entryway floor and skids across the linoleum. Everyone is suddenly quiet, staring around. Amy, huddled on the entryway floor, shrieks. Everyone is quiet for a moment.
911!
In the darkness, Aubrey somewhere in the front room.
911!
Everyone fumbles for their cell phone.
911!
I don't have a signal.
Me neither, but that's nothing new.
Felix is squinting at his cell phone behind him in the entryway. Kelly is tending to the wounded Drake.
Nothing. Z, check your burner.
Z pulls out a disposable cell phone and checks it. No signal.
Nobody has anything?
I had a full signal earlier today. How's this possible?
They must be using a jammer.
Oh, what?
A cell phone blocker. They're illegal, but you can get a battery-powered one off the internet for about $30. Usually the portable ones have a maximum range of a few hundred feet.
Everyone looks outside. Nothing is visible through the window. It's quiet all down the dark street.
I don't think we should go out there.
If it's some signal blocking device, all we have to do is make it down to the road.
You don't know that. A tower could be down in this area or something. If that happens, we don't even know what's going on. Maybe it's just some accident.
Paul looks at Aubrey. She is quiet.
We parked in the driveway. We're blocking you in, but it's not that far.
Tariq has the keys.
Everyone looks down at Tariq's corpse. Crispin clears his throat.
We're not blocked in. The drive's not that far. I think I could make it.
Aaron looks outside. Nothing is visible.
Anyone do this?
Interior, Davison Mansion. Entryway, continuous. In the entryway, Kelly and Z are kneeling next to Drake. Drake is examining the arrow in his shoulder.
Should we pull it out?
Yes!
No, that's a bad idea. You're not supposed to remove anything sharp before you get to the emergency room. You don't know what kind of tendons or veins could be caught up in there.
So I just have to leave it like this?
We could clip the end off with shears or something.
Oh, you got any?
Z is silent.
Are you in a lot of pain?
Drake looks at her incredulously. Kelly reaches into her purse and pulls out a prescription bottle. Drake nods and she taps out one pill. Drake holds his fingers up. Two. Kelly shakes her head. Drake frowns and points at the arrow sticking out of his shoulder. Kelly shrugs and pours out another pill. She hands Drake 2 pills. He dry swallows them.
Keep them coming.
Interior, Davison Mansion. Front room, continuous. Back out in the living room, Crispin has moved over to Aaron. Paul is looking around. Aubrey is quietly crying.
Do you think they're gone? Maybe it was just a drive-by thing.
Could be.
Okay, who can run fast and get out to a car?
I'm pretty fast.
No, you're not.
Crispin looks over at Drake in the entryway.
Yes, I am.
I'm probably the fastest runner, but not with this fucking thing in my shoulder.
What does your shoulder have to do with your legs?
Look, you move your arms when you run, Crispin, which you would know if you've ever jogged farther than the distance from your couch to the refrigerator, ass.
I'm not fat anymore, Drake. I haven't been fat since the 8th grade.
Whatever, Dick. Look, wait, what?
What?
Did you say something?
No.
Huh.
I'm pretty fast.
Me too.
Everyone looks at Amy. She swallows. She is staring at Tariq's corpse.
I do 2 hours on the elliptical every day.
Oh, shit, that beats me. Go for it.
Amy, you just have to use your car. Our neighbor Eric is staying at his house. It's a little ways down. It's the only other house on the street. So if you drive there, I'm sure he's got a phone that works. You call the police. Do you think you can do that?
Probably.
The sound of a window shattering comes from the library. Everyone starts. Erin reaches for a broken shard of plate on the floor and rises to her feet, facing the back room.
Amy, go.
Amy nods, lowers her. Amy races through the front room, drops to a kneel by Tariq's body, and takes the keys from his pants pocket. She then rushes for the entryway. Interior, Davison Mansion, entryway, continuous. As Amy races into the entryway, Felix quickly moves to one side of the front door. He nods anxiously as Amy moves towards him. Felix yanks the door open. Without hesitation, Amy sprints past her brother into the open door. As soon as she leaps over the threshold, she comes to a sudden stop. Amy stands unmoving in the front doorway. Only her silhouette is visible from inside the house. Paul, Aaron, and Aubrey have all moved forward into the entryway.
Amy.
Amy makes a small noise. A thin piece of piano wire has been strung horizontally across the front doorway of the Davison Mansion and coated with shoe polish. It is embedded in the front of Amy's neck, halfway back to her spine. Blood gushes down the front of Amy's body. Amy, dying, tilts her head back and drops. Blood sprays upward. The wire gives off a low bass note as Amy's neck falls free from it. Amy's body falls. Her head lolls in one side, exposing its arteries. Blood sprays out, soaking Aubrey's shoes. Paul leaps for Aubrey, quickly covering her eyes with his hands, but he is too late. She screams once, quickly, then begins breathing shallowly, hyperventilating. Erin looks away from this, then begins moving toward the library. She glances down at the shard of porcelain in her hand. She tosses it to the carpet, crossing quickly to the fireplace rack. Erin takes the same fire poker that Paul carried and hefts it, stepping towards the library.
What are you doing?
Quiet.
Erin, holding the fire poker in one hand, walks quietly toward the library. Crispin follows Erin. She glances back at him, then continues forward. In the entryway, Aubrey can be heard sobbing. Interior, Davison Mansion. Library, continuous. Erin steps into the library. One of the windows is shattered. Broken glass litters the floor. Erin looks down at the broken glass.
No one came in.
What?
They're trying to make us do something stupid. They're trying to make us run.
She turns
to
to
board
face
up-
Crispin.
We need to board up all the doors and windows. Right now they're outside. We're inside. We can keep them outside.
Okay.
Aaron turns and follows and quickly strides out of the room. Crispin, looking shaken, follows her. They head for the stairs to the second floor. Interior, Davison Mansion. Upstairs, hallway. Moments later, Aaron strides from room to room upstairs, locking the windows. Crispin follows her, assisting as needed. Aaron walks down the upstairs hallway, taking out her cell phone. She begins rapidly punching buttons.
What are you doing?
Some places, if you text 911, they get it as a voicemail. If you even have one bar, you can send it as a text.
Aaron finishes typing 13 Edelweiss Drive. 2 dead. Help, please. She hits send. Aaron starts to pocket her phone when it beeps. She lifts it to peer at the screen, which bears an error message reading, sending failed. Try again.
Things are useless.
I'll have it keep trying.
Aaron hits the send button again, pockets her phone, and moves quickly for the stairs. Crispin follows her. Interior, Davison Mansion, entryway. Aaron hurries down the stairs into the entryway. She addresses Paul.
The second floor looks clear. We should get her up there. And Drake, we need to take care of your shoulder.
Drake and Felix are pulling Amy's body away from the front door so they can close the front door, neither of them looking directly at her corpse as they do so. Felix moves across the front room quickly and pulls the tablecloth off the dining table. He comes back into the entryway and drapes it over Amy's corpse, covering her from sight. Paul, seated next to Aubrey on the floor, nods at Felix.
Thank you.
Felix nods stiffly behind him. Drake locks the chain on the door.
The shoulder's fine.
Are you sure?
Drake reaches up and taps the arrow sticking out of his shoulder. Everyone else winces. He doesn't react.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, we should cover up the windows.
Paul rises to his feet, helping Aubrey to stand. Paul looks suddenly much older.
Thank you, Aaron.
Sure, we're all going to get out of this.
Paul moves past Crispin and Aaron on the stairwell, helping Aubrey with each step. Aubrey appears practically catatonic. Crispin is looking at Aaron strangely. I've never seen you act like this before. Oh, I'm reading everybody's damn line.
I've never seen you act like this before.
It's a unique situation.
Aaron moves down the stairs.
I think someone should make a run for the cars.
No, that's a bad idea.
Are you sure? We need to call the police. Besides, whoever did this is probably gone, right?
You can try it. I'm going to stay in here. Lock this place up until the police come by. In fact, we should hang a sign out the upstairs window so they can find us. SOS or something.
Good thinking. I can pull a sheet off a bed upstairs.
Crispin heads upstairs. Interior, Davison Mansion. Master bedroom, continuous. Paul helps Aubrey over to their bed. She allows him to lie her down and pull the covers up over her. Paul sits down on the bed, on the side of the bed, looking down at Aubrey. She watches him.
I am sorry. I don't know what's happening.
Aubrey nods slightly.
Stay up here and you'll be safe.
Stay with me.
I can't. I have to take care of our kids, but I'm going to lock the door, okay? It'll be locked from the inside.
Aubrey nods. Paul rises to his feet and moves to the door.
So try and get some rest.
Paul switches off the light to the room. He turns the key on the inside of the door's lock, steps out of the room, and rattles the doorknob from the outside to make sure that it is locked. Aubrey lies still in the bed. In the dark room, the sound of Paul moving down the stairs is just audible. Aubrey begins softly crying, using her pillow to muffle her sobs. There is a sound from somewhere in the room. Aubrey abruptly stops crying. Aubrey stays very still, frozen, listening. The sound does not come again. Aubrey turns her head, looking around. At the foot of her bed, a figure rises up into the darkness, that of a large man. The man is dressed in black and is wearing a cheap plastic animal mask that covers his face, that of a fox. He straightens, standing at the end of the bed. He is holding a machete. Aubrey stares, paralyzed with terror. Exterior, Davison Mansion, guest bedroom, continuous. Crispin is stripping the sheets off the bed that he slept in. A brief scream comes from nearby on the floor. Aubrey's voice. The scream is abruptly cut short. Crispin stands still for a moment, frozen. Then he hurries for the door. Interior, Davison Mansion, front room continuous. Paul, Drake, Kelly, Z, and Felix are engaged in piling furniture in front of the large window in the living room. They all stop when they hear the noise upstairs.
That sounded like Mom.
They all rush for the entryway. Interior, Davison Mansion, kitchen continuous. Erin is in the kitchen, locking the windows, and she has a sharp kitchen knife tucked into the back pocket of her jeans. Erin locks one window, moves to the kitchen's other window, and finds herself face to face with a man wearing a tiger mask who is standing outside the window. He stares in at her. In a swift movement, the tiger mask man punches his gloved fist through the window, shattering the window from the outside. The tiger mask man reaches through the window and grabs Erin's hair. Erin jams the blade. He yanks Erin's head forward as if trying to cut her throat on the broken glass jutting up from the window frame. Erin jams the blade of her knife up through the tiger masked man's forearm. The blade comes out through the top of his arm, jammed between the radius and ulna bones. Erin spins and slams the exposed blade into the wall, pinning the man's arm to the inside kitchen wall. The tiger masked man and the rest of his body outside the house hisses quietly in pain. Erin spins away and runs into the kitchen. She throws open 2 drawers before she sees what she wants: a large meat cleaver. Erin grabs the meat cleaver and turns back towards the broken window. The tiger masked man is gone. The knife is now missing from the wall, though the paint on the wall is wet with blood from where he pulled his arm away. Erin stands holding the meat cleaver, breathing heavily. Interior, Davison Mansion, upstairs hallway evening. Crispin is trying to open the door to the master bedroom, which is locked. Drake and Kelly come running up the stairs behind him, followed by Paul, Felix, and Z.
It's locked.
Move over.
Drake kicks the door twice near the doorknob. The door opens to crack. He kicks it again and the door flies open. Interior, Davison Mansion, master bedroom, continuous. Drake's momentum carries him into the bedroom, where he freezes with shock. Aubrey is lying on the bed, the machete protruding from her head at an angle. Blood is everywhere. On the wall above Aubrey, the words "You're next" written in blood. The room's window is open. The curtains billow in the breeze. Drake stumbles back, turning away, staggering out into the hallway. Felix, Z, and Paul all crowd past him.
Oh, no.
Felix moves to his father, turning him away from Aubrey's body. Interior, Davison Mansion, upstairs hallway, evening. Kelly remains out in the hallway. Drake stumbles past her.
What is it?
She's dead.
Drake shakes his head and moves past Kelly down the stairs. A moment later, Crispin and Felix come out of the room, carrying their father between them. Felix's face is streaked with tears. Z follows the men out of the bedroom. She stares at Kelly.
They must have gotten in through the window.
Z shakes her head, then hurriedly follows everyone else downstairs. Kelly starts to follow Z, then looks into the bedroom and frowns. Interior, Davison Mansion, master bedroom, continuous. Kelly considers the open window in the bedroom. She crosses over to it. Exterior, Davison Mansion, front yard, continuous. Kelly sticks her head out of the open window and looks down. It is about a 10-foot drop from the window and looks to the ground. Interior, Davison Mansion, master bedroom, continuous. Kelly pulls her head back into the room and shuts the window. She looks over to the bedroom's closet. Kelly walks over to the bedroom closet and pulls it open. The closet is dark, filled with clothes on hangers. Kelly pushes the clothes to the side, revealing the back wall to the closet. She turns away, looking around the room, then glances at the bed. Kelly crouches down to the floor and lifts up the blankets to look under the bed. The masked face of the fox masked man stares out at her from under the bed, his eyes wide and crazed through the mask's eye holes. He lunges out for her. Kelly screams. Interior, Davison Mansion, kitchen, continuous. Aaron is emptying a bottle of vegetable oil into a pot on the stove when Kelly's scream comes from upstairs. Aaron looks up. Interior, Davison Mansion, entryway, continuous. Drake, Crispin, and Felix are all leaning over Paul, who is sitting in a chair holding his chest. Z stands behind them. Drake reacts to Kelly's scream.
Kelly?
A moment later, Kelly appears on the stairwell, racing down the steps, still screaming. Kelly rushes past them. She runs straight to the front door, flings it open, and races outside. Kelly, shorter than Amy, ducks neatly under the piano wire and continues running out into the yard, out of view.
Kelly!
Drake races after Kelly. When Drake reaches the doorway, Drake ducks down low to avoid the piano wire. Instead, the arrow protruding from his shoulder catches the side of the doorway, stopping his momentum. Drake spins and falls to the floor with a howl of pain.
God damn it!
Drake reaches up and in a furious moment rips the arrow out of his shoulder. Drake stares down at the arrow in his hand for a moment as if realizing what he just did. Blood gushes from the torn wound in his shoulder.
Whoa.
Drake falls back onto the floor, passing out, still holding the arrow. Aaron, Z, Crispin, and Felix all turn and look up the stairs in the direction Kelly came from. The upstairs hallway is silent and dark. Paul is staring blankly into the other direction at the open door where Kelly just ran out.
Wasn't that door locked?
Everyone turns to look at the open front door. Exterior, Edelweiss Drive, night, continuous. Kelly runs down the street, moving with remarkable speed. She does not look back. As Kelly speeds down the street, a masked figure is briefly visible running through the trees near the road on a parallel course to her. Kelly immediately comes to a complete stop. She stares over the trees. No one is visible. Kelly looks around the dark road as if suddenly realizing how exposed she is. The sky is overcast and the woods around her are black. A breeze moves the branches of the trees around her. In the distance, up ahead, Eric Carson's car is visible, parked in front of his house. The lights are on inside the house, shining out into the yard. Kelly begins running toward Eric Carson's house. Interior, Davison Mansion, entryway, continuous. Crispin slips the locks back onto the front door.
Wait.
Crispin turns to look at her. Everyone is gathered in the entryway. Z is holding a bloody rag to the unconscious Drake's shoulder.
Kelly just made it out there. Nothing stopped her. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe we should just run for it. We can all make it to a car at the very least.
Crispin exhales, nodding.
I'll try it. You guys stay in here.
No, I'll go with you.
We'll need to carry Drake and Dad. Dad can't run right now. I'll bring the car around right up to the front door. Then you, Felix, and Z help Dad and Drake out. Make sense?
Crispin looks at Aaron. Hesitantly, she nods.
Be careful. Here.
Aaron hands Crispin the meat cleaver she has been holding. He hefts it.
I'll be right outside, only a few feet away.
Crispin gives Aaron a reassuring smile. She returns the smile weakly. Exterior, Eric Carson's house, front lawn, continuous. And Kelly runs up the front lawn to Eric Carson's house. She immediately tries the front door. It is locked. Kelly hits the doorbell, then hammers on the door.
Help! Help me!
Rock music is faintly audible from within the house. Exterior, Davison Mansion, front yard continuous. Crispin emerges from the front door of the Davison vacation house. Through the doorway, Aaron and the others can be seen watching him. Crispin exhales, then runs for his car, parked right in front of the house at the curb. He races across the lawn, reaches the car, and runs around it to the driver's side. Crispin tries the door. It is locked. He fumbles for his keys, unlocks the door, and quickly climbs inside. Interior, Crispin's car, evening continuous. Crispin slams the door shut after him and quickly locks it. He looks around quickly, checking the car's mirrors. No one can see anywhere outside. Interior, Davison Mansion, front room continuous. Through the front windows, Crispin is just barely visible in the front seat of his sedan. Aaron and the others watch him. Z and Felix are holding hands. Interior, Crispin's car, evening continuous. Breathing rapidly, Crispin inserts his car key into the ignition and turns it. Nothing happens. Crispin tries it again. Cranking the ignition, nothing. The car is silent. Crispin looks up at the house. Exterior, Eric Carson's house. Front lawn, continuous. Kelly continues pounding on the front door of Eric Carson's house for a moment, getting no response. She runs a few feet over to peer into the front windows. From her angle, Kelly cannot see the sofa in the front room, but she can hear the music louder. Kelly turns and runs to the side yard, heading to the rear of the house. Exterior, Eric Carson's house, backyard continuous. Kelly sprints up to the glass doors that face the house's backyard and tries to open them. They are locked. Inside, Kelly can now see Eric Carson on the couch. He is still, his face turned away from her. She pounds her fists on the glass.
Hey, help me.
Eric does not move. Kelly turns around, her hands open as if looking for something to break the glass with. She finds herself face to face with a man wearing a lamb mask, standing right behind her in the backyard. The man steps forward and punches Kelly in the face hard. She staggers back and smashes through the glass doors, landing inside Eric Carson's house. Interior, Crispin's car, evening continuous. Crispin takes a breath, grabs the meat cleaver off the passenger seat, then quickly exits his car, running back to her house. Exterior, Davison Mansion, front yard continuous. Crispin runs through the dark front yard, ducks under the piano wire, and enters the house through the open front door. Interior, Davison Mansion, entryway continuous. Crispin comes to a stop just inside the entryway, gasping for breath, still holding the cleaver. Aaron quickly embraces him. They hold each other for a long moment while Crispin regains his breath.
I won't start. They did something to it, the battery or something.
Easy enough.
I think it's safe to assume the other cars are out, but I didn't see anyone else out there. Maybe Kelly, maybe she got past them. It gives us a chance.
What do you mean?
I'm going back out there. I didn't see anyone. Maybe it's over.
Felix, Paul, and Z all look towards the stairwell leading up to the second floor. It is still dark and quiet.
I'm going to get to our neighbor's house. As soon as I'm a distance away, I'll try to make calls or text. You guys stay here. Keep each other safe. I'll come back with the police.
Are you sure that's a good plan?
Yes, I am.
Crispin looks over at Felix. Felix frowns, but then slowly nods. Interior, Eric Carson's house, back room, continuous. Kelly skids across the wood floor of Eric's back room on her back, surrounded by broken glass. Inside the house, the song on the stereo is booming. Kelly, dazed, rolls over and begins crawling toward where Eric is seated on the couch. She staggers to her feet.
Help me.
The lamb-masked man enters the house behind Kelly. He looks around the back room, then lifts a golf club out of the bag propped against the wall. The song on the stereo comes to an end and repeats as Kelly limps into the front room. Interior, Eric Carson's house, front room, continuous. Kelly stumbles over towards Eric.
Help.
As Kelly moves in front of him, she can see that part of Eric's head is missing, as if the side of his forehead was lopped off by a blade. The front of his shirt is soaked with blood. Kelly stops staring down at Eric's corpse. The lamb-masked man rushes up from behind her, swinging the golf club into her head. The club impacts the side of Kelly's face. She falls straight down into a glass coffee table, shattering it. as Kelly impacts with the table and CD player on this stereo begins skipping loudly, repeating one glitchy, percussive sound. The lamb masked man kicks Kelly, rolling her over onto her back on the floor. She's unconscious. The man puts one foot on Kelly's face. Holding her head still, he switches his grip on the golf club, then swings it down like a genuine golf swing. The lamb masked man swings the club down again and again. Blood spatters the wall behind him. On his final swing, the man releases the club. It remains standing upright, as if embedded deeply into Kelly's skull. The lamb masked man steps forward, breathing hard. He regards the golf club for a moment, then turns and exits the house, walking out through the shattered back door. Interior Davison Mansion dining room continuous. Aaron pulls Crispin into the dining room where they are alone.
Don't go. I'm serious.
Nothing's
Kristen-
going to happen.
Crispin gently holds Aaron away from him to look at her.
Nothing's going to happen.
You don't know that. What if
Aaron trails off as if unwilling to articulate her thoughts. Crispin smiles at her.
I'll be fine, okay?
Aaron nods slowly. She does not look convinced.
I'm going now while I have a good shot. I need to get help. This is our best chance.
Aaron swallows. Crispin leans forward and kisses her.
I'll be fine out there. You just take care of yourself in here. Be safe. Stay close to Felix and Z.
Aaron nods quickly. Crispin pulls Aaron closer to him. They hold each other for a moment. Crispin whispers in her ear.
Come back soon, okay? I promise.
Crispin draws back, Aaron hesitantly releasing him. He leads her back out into the entryway, holding her hand. Okay, we're back with the next part of Your Next. We hope you all have been enjoying it. And thankfully, RZ was finally able to join us. Thank you, Derek. We're so glad you were able to be here and that this worked out. So now Melissa is going to take it away from me narrating. So, yeah, I'm excited for this.
So the INT is for internal, right?
Interior.
Yeah,
Interior. That makes more sense. Okay, cool. Got it. Sorry. Interior, Davison Mansion. Entryway, continuous. Crispin and Aaron step back out into the entryway. Crispin moves for the front door. He looks back at Aaron, smiles, then addresses the others.
Okay, everyone be careful.
Crispin whacks at the piano wire in the doorway with the meat cleaver, snapping it. Then runs outside. He turns, heading up the street, disappearing from view. Aaron exhales, watching him go. She then steps forward and shuts the door. Aaron wipes her eyes quickly on the back of her shirt sleeve, then turns to look at Felix, Z, and Paul, blinking.
no point in locking it? We should just assume at least one of them is inside here with us at this point.
Aaron turns towards the stairwell leading upstairs. Paul follows her gaze, then looks back at her.
You think this person who killed my wife is still in this house?
Aaron hesitates, then nods.
I think we should assume so, yes.
Paul is silent. Aaron turns to Z, who is crouched over Drake, binding a torn piece of her shirt over his wound.
How is he?
Looks like the bleeding stopped.
Aaron turns to the dining room.
We should move him into there, hide him someplace safe.
Z nods. Aaron, Felix, and Z take hold of Drake's arms and begin pulling him into the dining room, leaving Paul seated in the entryway. Interior, Davison Mansion. Dining room, continuous. Felix, Z, and Aaron drag Drake into the dining room. Aaron looks over towards curtains that cover a window alcove.
There.
Aaron, Felix, and Z manage to carry the prone Drake into the alcove. Aaron pulls the curtains shut, obscuring his body from view. She turns to Felix and Z.
What's the best room for us all to be in?
I don't know. They all have windows except the basement.
Basement's a bad idea. They could just pour gas down the stairs, throw in a match. We want a place with multiple points of exit.
Aaron nods to the front room.
We should stay in there.
Felix and Z stare at Aaron. Aaron looks towards the kitchen as if remembering something.
Oh, speaking of.
Aaron exits the dining room.
She's interesting.
Felix nods. Interior, Davison Mansion, kitchen continuous. Aaron walks quickly into the kitchen. The large pot of vegetable oil she created is boiling rapidly on the stove. Aaron quickly switches off the burner, yanking her hand away to avoid getting splattered. She moves away from the stove. Aaron looks up at the broken kitchen window and the patch of blood on the wall next to it. Aaron considers it for a moment. Interior, Davison Mansion, front room moments later. Aaron strides into the front room. Her arms are filled with cutlery and a metal meat tenderizer mallet. Felix and Z are standing, having pulled Drake into the front room with them.
Okay, we should each carry a weapon. I've got...
Kelly's dead body smashes through the large window to the side of Aaron as if thrown. Kelly's corpse hits Aaron's legs, knocking her into the dining table. The knives Aaron was holding go flying everywhere. Aaron falls beneath the dining table, her arms curled up to protect her head. The tiger-masked man steps into the front room through the shattered window. He is holding an axe. Aaron, beneath the table, reaches out for the closest knife in front of her. It is just out of reach. Just before Aaron's fingers can close around the knife, the tiger-masked man grabs one of her ankles with his free hand and drags her out from under the table. The knife slides from her grasp. The tiger-masked man pulls Aaron out, exposing her. With a snarl, he lifts the axe up and brings it down. Aaron rolls onto her side. The blade smashes into the wooden floor within inches of her head. The tiger-masked man snarls again with annoyance and yanks the axe back, ripping it out of the floor. Aaron rolls onto her back, lifts one leg straight up, and kicks the man in the groin. The tiger-masked man grunts. In his moment of hesitation, Aaron rolls off to the side and grabs the metal meat tenderizer mallet off the floor. Lying on her side, Aaron swings the mallet hard into the man's knee. The tiger-masked man howls and lurches forward, his kneecap audibly crackling. His head smacks down on the dining room table. Aaron quickly comes to her feet and grabs the man's head, pushing it back down on the table. Holding him in place, Aaron begins hammering the side of the man's face with the steel mallet, keeping him pinned to the table. 2 blows with the spiked mallet take the flesh and skin off the man's head, exposing his skull. Aaron's third blow caves in his skull. Aaron lets the man fall to the floor. She is breathing hard. Z, cowering in the front room, looks pale and terrified.
Is he dead?
Aaron leans down and grabs the man's shattered head with both hands. She braces her knee against his neck, or against his back, then pulls back his head, breaking his neck. Without letting go, Aaron removes the man's tiger mask and lifts him up by his collar so that Z and Felix can see his face. He is an average-looking man in his 20s. Aaron is out of breath.
Anyone know this guy?
Felix is standing behind Z on the other side of the living room. They both shake their heads.
So it's kind of hard to tell.
Aaron looks down at the man she is holding up. Half of his face is missing. Aaron lets the man's body drop and wipes her hands on her jeans. She looks down at Kelly's dead body. There are now 4 corpses on the floor of the 2 adjoining rooms. Tariq, Amy, Kelly, and the tiger-masked man. Aaron's attention remains focused on Kelly.
I'm sure Crispin is fine.
Aaron looks up at him. Felix is looking at Kelly.
Crispin's a tough guy.
No, he's not, but thanks. And thanks for your help, by the way.
Felix holds up his hands.
Yeah, hey, you seem to have a handle on it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I probably would have run if I were you. So that's something.
Aaron moves into the living room.
Where's your dad?
Felix and Z look around. Interior, Davison Mansion, upstairs hallway, evening. Paul moves slowly from the upstairs hallway into the master bedroom. He is holding a kitchen knife. Interior, Davison Mansion, master bedroom, evening. Paul moves into the room with Aubrey's body on the bed. He stares at it for a long time. Suddenly, the lights in the room go out. Exterior, Davison Mansion, night, continuous. The lights in the entire house are abruptly dark. Interior, Davison Mansion, front room, continuous. Aaron looks around the suddenly dark room. Felix is looking upstairs.
Where's the circuit box?
I don't know. I think it's in the basement. Why don't you go look there? I'm going upstairs to try to find my dad.
Aaron nods quickly. Felix exits the front room, followed by Z. Interior, Davison Mansion, master bedroom, evening. Paul turns to the light switch near the room's door. He flicks it down, then back up. The room remains dark. Interior, Davison Mansion, upstairs hallway, evening. Paul moves from the master bedroom out into the hallway. He opens a small closet door in the hallway. Inside the closet is the circuit breaker box. Its master switch is in the off position. Paul makes a noise, then flips the switch to on. The lights in the hallway come on. Briefly, something is visible in the open doorway to the guest bedroom, quickly moving out of view. The figure is dark with a pale face. Paul turns around in the hallway, slowly raising his knife in his hand. He moves in the direction of the bedroom. Interior, Davison Mansion, guest bedroom, continuous. Paul moves into the guest bedroom, wielding the knife in front of him. The room appears empty, but the closet door is ajar. Paul walks quietly to the closet door. He pulls it open. The closet is mostly empty. On the floor are a bunch of energy bar wrappers and an almost empty bottle of water. Paul's eyes widen as he sees this. Behind Paul, the door to the bedroom moves silently. The fox-masked man steps out from behind it. Paul does not notice. He shifts some hanging clothes to the side, checking to make sure nothing else is in the closet. The lights in the room go out. Paul spins around. He is alone in the dark bedroom. Paul hurries towards the hallway. Interior, Davison Mansion, basement, continuous. Erin makes her way through the dark basement, using a small flashlight on her keychain to illuminate her path. Erin stops under a bare light bulb that hangs from the ceiling from a cord. She pulls on the chain attached to the bulb. The basement remains dark. Erin shines her flashlight beam around the basement, searching the walls for anything resembling a circuit box. She frowns, seeing nothing. Abruptly, the light bulb above Erin turns on, illuminating the basement room. Interior, Davison Mansion, upstairs hallway, evening. In the dark hallway, Paul pushes the master switch and the circuit breaker back to on. As Paul does so, a dark figure quickly moves up behind him, silhouetted in the light. Paul spins around to face the figure, brandishing his knife. The figure behind him is Felix. Z is crouched behind Felix, also holding a knife, looking scared.
Whoa, Dad.
Paul speaks quickly.
One of them's in the bedroom. They were here for days, watching us while we slept. This was not a random attack.
Okay, calm down.
Interior, Davison Mansion, basement, continuous. Erin blinks in the sudden light of the basement, staring at the glowing light bulb above her with surprise. Erin moves towards the exit of the basement, then notices a tool bench against one wall in the lit basement room. Several tools are scattered across the bench. Erin quickly moves towards this. Interior, Davison Mansion, upstairs hallway, evening. Paul continues speaking rapidly to Felix and Z. A shadow shifts in the hall behind him.
You don't understand, Felix. Our family is targeted by someone, and this isn't...
Felix, eyes wide, looks over Paul's shoulder. Paul, seeing this, stops speaking. The fox-masked man is standing right behind Paul in the hallway. Paul turns around, raising his knife just as the man raises his machete. The fox masked man swings and slices the blade down into the side of Paul's neck.
Oh, I have been killed.
Paul, dazed, takes a step back, and the blade slides out through the front of his neck. Bright red blood paints the wall to Paul's side. He stumbles and turns, spraying Felix in the face, with the blood shooting from his severed carotid artery. Paul falls to the floor, his hands pressed to the side of his neck. Blood begins pooling from between his fingers. Felix stares down at the twitching Paul. He then looks blankly up at the fox-masked man. Felix's face is covered with blood.
Really? You had to do that right in front of me?
The fox-masked man hesitates, then reaches up under his mask and removes an iPod earbud from one of his ears. Tinny, loud hip-hop music is audible, blaring from it.
What?
You know what? Never mind.
Felix looks back down at Paul. Paul is staring up at Felix, his eyes wide with horror. Paul's mouth opens as if he's trying to speak but cannot. He reaches out with one hand to clutch at Felix's pants leg, leaving bloody smears on Felix's jeans. Felix quickly to his face. Z is watching him with wide eyes.
You okay?
Yeah, I just got blood in my eye. Thanks a lot. I need to go get washed up.
Felix abruptly leaves the hallway, heading into one of the bedrooms, leaving the fox-masked man and Z facing each other in the hallway, Paul's bloody corpse between them. The fox-masked man nods at Z awkwardly.
Hey, Z.
Hey, Tom.
How's it going?
Z shrugs. Interior, Davison Mansion basement, night. Erin makes her way towards the basement stairs, now holding a screwdriver from the tool bench out in front of her like a weapon. Abruptly, footsteps are audible above her head, like someone in boots walking slowly. The floorboards creak directly above Erin. Erin stops moving, listening. Interior, Davison Mansion, front room continuous. On the floor above Erin, the lamb-masked man walks slowly from the entryway into the front room carrying his crossbow. The lamb-masked man looks slowly around the room. His eyes move over Tariq and Kelly's corpses, then stop when he sees the dead body of the man who was wearing the tiger mask. The lamb-masked man slowly walks over to the corpse of the tiger masked man. The lamb-masked man tucks his crossbow into a holster on his back. He kneels next to the tiger masked man and gently touches his face, turning his head from one side, revealing the body's shattered skull. A sound somewhere between a moan and a sob emerges from behind the lamb mask. The lamb masked man is still for a moment, then he screams with rage and grabs the tiger masked man axe up from the floor. Rising to his feet with a howl, he smashes the axe down on the dining table, splitting the tabletop in half. Interior, Davison Mansion, basement steps continuous. Erin is crouched on the basement steps just outside the closed door leading up to the first floor of the house. She can hear the sounds of the lamb-masked man screaming and smashing from the other side of the door. A few miscellaneous objects are nearby Erin, including a kite and some string. She tightly grips the screwdriver she is holding, her knuckles white. A warded lock keyhole shines a thin ray of light out onto Erin's wide eyes, but she can see nothing outside. Interior, Davison Mansion, entryway continuous. The lamb-masked man, still screaming, storms into the entryway wielding an axe. With a muffled howl, he swings the axe blade into a lamp, shattering it. The lamb-masked man abruptly goes silent, breathing heavily, his shoulders heaving as he holds the axe in both hands. He lowers his head as if listening for something. Interior, Davison Mansion, basement steps continuous. Erin, still positioned just inside the basement door, is quiet, holding her breath. Outside the door, the sound of the lamb-masked man is panting is just barely audible. Erin, frowning, peers out through the keyhole. Immediately, the lamb mask fills Erin's vision. The lamb masked man is on the other side of the keyhole, staring in at her. His visible eye is wide and insane. Erin and the lamb masked man both scream at the same time. His scream is one of fury. Interior, Davison Mansion, entryway continuous. The Leia masked man grabs onto the doorknob with one hand and tries to yank the basement door open. Encountering resistance, he snarls with rage. Interior, Davison Mansion, basement steps continuous. On the other side of the door, Aaron has the doorknob grasped with both hands, one knee raised and braced against the doorframe. Aaron strains with all her physical power, keeping the door shut. The next moment, the axe blade bursts through the wooden door directly in front of Aaron's face. She screams again. Interior, Davison Mansion, entryway continuous. The Leia masked man is chopping into the basement door, swinging the axe again and again, creating a hole in the door's center. Aaron's face is visible through the hole. She is still screaming. Behind the Leia masked man, Drake stumbles out from the dining room, holding his bloody shoulder and looking confused. The Leia masked man does not notice Drake. Drake regards the man's back, hazily watching him chop into the basement door.
Hey.
The Leia masked man stops, turns, and looks at Drake. Drake, for the first time, sees the man's mask. Drake takes a slow step away. He holds up one hand.
Whoa.
The Leia masked man is entirely focused on Drake now. He takes a step towards Drake, raising his axe. Drake takes another step backwards, stumbles, and falls onto his back, trying to scramble away. The Leia masked man moves quickly to stand over Drake, lifting his axe. The basement door swings open, and Aaron rushes out, the screwdriver thrust in front of her. She stabs the point of the screwdriver into the Leia masked man's back, above his holstered crossbow. She jabs the screwdriver in deep, leaving it sticking out of his back. With a roar of pain and surprise, the Leia masked man drops the axe, turns, and knocks Aaron down with a flailing arm. The Leia masked man spins, reaching behind his shoulder to grab the crossbow on his back. He grasps the butt of the crossbow and tries to pull it up, then screams with pain. The screwdriver jammed between the man's shoulder blades is pinning the crossbow into his holster. Every time he tries to lift the crossbow, it catches on the screwdriver handle. The Leia masked man turns. The Leia masked man makes a noise like a sob of frustration. He turns. He turns away from Aaron to face Drake. Drake, rising shakily to his feet, has the axe in both hands. He is facing the Leia masked man. The Leia masked man stares at Drake, makes a noise somewhere between a laugh and a snarl, then turns and runs out the front door, the screwdriver still stuck in his back. Drake and Aaron stare at each other. Aaron gets up off the wall, propping herself against gets up off the floor, propping herself against the wall. Drake clears his throat, then gestures unhappily behind himself with the axe.
I woke up in the dining room.
Yeah, you blacked out. I put you there to hide you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Drake looks around the shattered entryway. Amy's body is on the floor, covered by the sheet.
Where's Kelly?
Aaron looks at Drake, then looks to the front room. Kelly's body is lying on the floor near the window, blocked from sight by the wreckage of the dining room table. Aaron stares at the table for a moment, then quickly looks back at Drake.
We don't know.
You think she got away?
I hope so.
Drake slumps against the wall. He sets the axe down and grabs his shoulder.
But you don't think so?
Aaron looks hesitant, again glancing in the direction of Kelly's body. Interior, Davison Mansion, entryway continuous. Aaron begins to answer Drake, but is interrupted when Felix and Z emerge on the stairwell.
Are you guys okay? What's going on?
Aaron and Drake stare at Felix.
We heard noises, so we stayed upstairs. What happened?
One of them came in and attacked us. I stabbed him and he ran away.
Felix blinks.
You stabbed him?
Yeah, with a screwdriver.
Do you think you might have killed him?
No, it didn't get past the muscle. It just hurt him. Was there anyone upstairs?
We didn't find anyone. Whoever was there could have climbed out the window.
Where's your dad?
He needed to lie down.
Aaron nods sympathetically.
He's probably just as safe up there as he would be down here, honestly. We need to get together some weapons before they come back.
How many are there?
Z seems on the verge of panic.
We shouldn't make any assumptions, but there have to be at least 2 more of them.
Maybe they're gone. Maybe you scared them off.
Maybe, but let's not count on it. I saw some tools we can use in the basement.
Aaron heads down into the basement, followed by the staggering Drake. Felix and Z exchange a look. Felix shrugs. They head down into the basement after Drake and Aaron. Interior, Davison Mansion, basement, night. Once at the bottom of the basement steps, Aaron heads straight over to the tool bench, Drake stumbling behind her. As Felix and Z come down the stairs, Aaron gathers up some scraps of wood, mostly flat pieces. She also pockets a screw hook.
Z, can you help me with these? This is enough to get started.
Aaron hands over the wood to Z, who holds it with both arms. Aaron grabs a hammer and a box of 3-inch nails from the bench. She addresses Felix and Drake.
Grab anything sharp or heavy that might make a good weapon, but don't stay down here long. We need to be up where there are windows. You come up with me.
Z follows Aaron back upstairs, carrying the wood, leaving Felix and Drake alone in the basement. Interior, Davison Mansion front room moments later. Upstairs, Aaron pulls the blanket that is covering Tariq's corpse over so that it also covers Kelly's bloody body. Blood immediately begins soaking through the blanket over Kelly's head. Aaron looks up. Z, holding the wood in her arms, is watching her. Aaron blinks.
Drake doesn't need to see her like that. Here, give me one of those.
Aaron takes a piece of wood from Z and braces it against the wall. She then hammers a nail all the way through the wood so that the point protrudes from the other end. Aaron looks up at Z, who is still watching her intently.
See? Like that. Just make sure the nail goes all the way through.
Okay.
Z takes the hammer from Aaron, looks at her, then gingerly takes a nail and hammers it through the wood.
Like that?
Yeah, that's good. Keep them a few inches apart, not too close together, but don't leave any big spaces either. Do as many as you can.
Z nods quickly, then hesitates.
Can I ask you something? How did you learn this stuff?
What do you mean?
You're good at fighting? I wouldn't have expected that from just meeting you.
Oh, well, I haven't even told Crispin about this yet, but I had kind of a weird childhood. I grew up on a survivalist compound.
You grew up on a survivalist compound?
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
To hear my mom tell it, my dad got kind of paranoid when I was born. He was convinced that the world was going to run out of resources in a matter of years, not just like oil and coal and like the stuff that everyone talks about, but like food and portable water. He found a lot of guys who agreed with him, and we all moved out to the outback. Basically, if things got too overpopulated, even out there, he wanted me to be able to take care of myself. I left for the States with my mom when I was 15, but I learned a lot beforehand.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Aaron shrugs and turns away. Z stares after her. Interior, Davison Mansion, basement, night. Drake picks up a hatchet and tests the blade against his thumb. He sets it down, shaking his head.
Too dull.
Behind Drake, Felix is looking around the tool bench as if searching for something. He is wearing a pair of cloth work gloves.
So Crispian's gone too?
Yeah, he ran out right after Kelly did.
But no one's heard anything from him, if they're okay.
Felix looks over to Drake as if puzzled. Drake is staring down at a rubber mallet in his hand.
I think I should go looking for him. I can't just wait around here wondering if she's okay.
Huh? Kelly's dead, man.
Drake looks up and stares at Felix blankly.
What?
Kelly's dead. They threw her body through the window upstairs. She's up there on the floor. You didn't know that?
No.
Drake looks stunned. He puts a hand on the table as if to support himself.
No, Aaron said she hadn't come back.
Oh, well, I guess that's a matter of perspective, but her body's definitely upstairs. She got killed. Aaron was probably just trying to be nice about it.
Drake just stares at Felix.
No.
Yeah, totally.
Drake starts to speak. Then his face crumbles and he begins quietly crying. He puts one hand over his face, sobbing into it.
Oh, Kelly.
Felix regards Drake uncomfortably for a moment. He looks down at the work gloves on his hands awkwardly.
Hey, I'm sorry, Drake. Look, I thought you knew. I mean, I know you cared about her a lot.
Drake looks up at Felix with sudden fury. His face is streaked with tears.
Yeah, and what would you know about it, you spoiled little shit? You ever looked anything in your own selfish life? Fuck mom and dad!
Drake abruptly stops speaking, grunting slightly. He looks down at his chest. Felix has stabbed Drake in the chest with a wood knife. Blood flows out from around the blade.
I'm sorry.
Drake gapes at Felix. The wood knife is jutting out of his upper chest. Felix tries to yank the wood knife out to stab Drake again, but encounters resistance. The blade is lodged in Drake's ribs. Felix, with the sob of frustration, grabs a metal file off the table and jams the sharp end into Drake's stomach. Drake is still standing, tearfully staring at Felix. He opens his mouth, gasping.
Fuck, dude!
Felix whimpers, running his hands over tools on the bench. He begins grabbing tools at random and stabbing Drake with them, leaving each tool embedded in Drake's flesh. Felix stabs Drake with several more tools, panting, his shoulders shaking. Drake stares down at the implements protruding from his chest. The front of his shirt is soaked with blood.
Felix?
Would you just die already? This is really hard for me.
Yeah, it ain't great for me either!
Felix picks up a wooden ice pick up off the table and plunges it into Drake's chest right over his heart. Drake looks down, snorts, and blood bursts from his nostrils. He pitches back onto the floor and does not move. Felix turns away from Drake's body and takes a long, slow breath. He carefully removes his bloody work gloves and looks at his clean hands as if trying to regain his composure. Felix takes 2 deep breaths, then puts his hands over his face and starts weeping. Interior, Davison Mansion front room, night. In the front room, kneeling by Tariq, Kelly, and the tiger masked man's bodies, Erin is examining the floor beneath one of the windows. She has a dark cloth napkin from the dining table in one hand. Behind Erin, Z approaches, holding a board with nails driven through it. She wields the board in both hands like a weapon. Z moistens her lips with her tongue. Looking at Erin's back, her hands are trembling slightly. Erin turns back and glances at Z. Z stops moving.
You finished that one?
Yeah.
Cool. Might not be a bad idea to do at least one more. I'm going to go check on their father upstairs while you do that. When the guys come up, make sure they have some rope or something.
You probably shouldn't go up there. He might be sleeping.
Erin, picking up the meat tenderizer mallet from the floor, rises to her feet and moves towards the stairs.
I won't wake him up.
I'll go up. I'll do it.
Erin looks back at Z strangely.
You're scared of being alone, Z. Go down and check on Drake and Felix. See what's taking them.
Z hesitates, staring up at Erin. Erin's expression softens.
Or you can come up with me if you want, but it'll only take a second.
No, that's okay. I'll do another board.
Erin nods and heads for the stairs. Z stares after her, then crosses into the entryway, where she unlocks the front door. Interior, Davison Mansion, upstairs hallway, night. Erin enters the upstairs hallway holding the metal mallet. She immediately notices the dark patch of blood on the wall and floor at the end of the hallway. Paul's body is nowhere to be seen. Frowning, Erin cautiously moves to the bloody end of the hallway toward the master bedroom. She lifts her mallet in front of her. Interior, Davison Mansion, master bedroom, evening. Erin steps slowly inside the master bedroom. A thick trail of smeared blood on the carpet leads within. Paul's body is slumped face down on the floor near the foot of the bed. Aubrey's corpse is still on the bed beneath the bloody writing on the wall. The machete is now missing from her head. Erin moves further into the room, staring.
Jesus.
Behind Erin, the fox-masked man appears in the bedroom doorway, machete in hand. The fox-masked man regards Erin as she slowly moves to check Paul's body. Erin carefully rolls Paul over. His dead, glassy eyes stare up at her. Erin takes a step back, then turns around to face the fox-masked man, who is still standing in the doorway blocking her exit. Erin freezes. The fox masked man takes a step forward, raising his machete. Erin looks down at the mallet in her hand, then looks at the fox masked man in his machete. She throws her mallet at him. The mallet flips through the air and hits the fox masked man in the face. He hunches forward with a yell of pain and surprise. Erin moves to run past the fox masked man, but with an angry grunt, he straightens up and lifts his machete, again blocking her path. Erin hesitates, then turns around, takes 2 running steps, and jumps out the bedroom window, smashing through the glass, her arms up to protect her head and neck. Exterior, Davison Mansion, front yard, night. Erin falls through the air and lands hard on the grass, broken glass raining all around her. She immediately goes into a roll to lessen her impact, coming up crouched on her feet. Erin sways for a moment, trying to catch her breath. A small group of trees line the outskirts of the house's yard. Erin staggers towards these trees, limping badly. Interior, Davison Mansion, master bedroom, night. The fox masked man, standing in front of the broken window, watches Erin limp over to the trees and disappear into the darkness. He regards the ground beneath the window as if thinking it over. Exterior, Davison Mansion, side yard, night. Erin, reaching the shelter of the trees, quickly looks back at the broken window where the fox masked man is visible, framed by the bedroom's light. Erin sees the fox masked man turn away, disappearing from the window, exiting the bedroom.
Shit, Z.
Erin looks down at her leg. A shard of broken glass is protruding from one of Erin's thighs.
Ah, fuck.
Erin considers, then takes hold of the piece of broken glass. Moving slowly but without hesitation, Erin begins to pull out the shard of broken glass. It is embedded deeply in her leg. An inch of bloody glass emerges, then another inch. Before the pointed end of the shard is free, blood flows freely from the wound. Erin lets the bloody piece of glass drop to the ground in front of her. She glances down at it, then stops. A bloody screwdriver rests on the dirt next to the base of the tree nearest to her. It is the same screwdriver that she stabbed the lamb masked man with. Erin freezes. Slowly she turns and looks behind her into the darkness of the trees. Nothing is visible. Erin takes her keys out of her pocket. Her keychain is a small flashlight. Positioning her hand over the bulb of the flashlight so its lights will not give her position away, Erin switches the light on. She then slowly spreads her fingers apart, allowing a dim ray of light to shine on the trees around her. The beam immediately falls upon the tall, lamb-masked man who is standing between 2 large trees watching her. He has his crossbow loosely aimed at her. As soon as the light falls on his face, the lamb-masked man raises the crossbow, pulling its trigger. Erin gasps and ducks down quickly, dropping her keychain. The trees and the lamb-masked man go dark. A crossbolt embeds itself into the tree behind her, just over her head. The lamb-masked man snarls, reaching back into his holster for another arrow, striding forward toward Erin. Erin turns and runs toward the Davison Mansion. Her wounded leg is not fully operational, and she drags it as she lurches towards the front lawn. Exterior, Davison Mansion, front yard, night. Just as Erin reaches the front door to the Davison Mansion, the lamb-masked man appears behind her, coming around the corner of the house, holding his now loaded crossbow. He is also limping badly, clutching his lower abdomen with his free hand. Erin does not look behind her. She opens the front door, steps inside, and slams it closed. Interior, Davison Mansion, entryway, night. Erin quickly locks the deadbolt on the front door, then turns around to survey the room. Z, Felix, and the fox masked man are nowhere to be seen. Erin staggers into the front room. Interior, Davison Mansion, front room, continuous. Erin enters the front room, searching for something. Her eyes fall on the boards with nails through them that Z created. 2 boards are resting on the floor. Exterior, Davison Mansion, front yard, night. The lamb-masked man reaches the front door, still carrying his loaded crossbow. He tries the front door. It is locked. With a growl of frustration, the man moves over to the shattered front room window. Inside the room is dark. Nothing is moving within. The lamb-masked man can see the body of the tiger-masked man inside on the floor. He stiffens at the sight of it. The lamb-masked man starts to step into the room. then looks down inside the window. Interior, Davison Mansion, front room, night. A board with nails sticking up out of it is resting on the floor, a foot or so away from the wall, right beneath the sole of the lamb masked man's shoe. It is plainly visible. The lamb masked man stops moving and exhales, sighing, looking down at the board with nails beneath his foot. He adjusts his foot so that he is stepping straight down near the wall, where the floor is dark and shadowed. Nothing is visible there. He shifts his weight forward. The man's foot comes down hard on the second board with nails, which is hidden under a dark cloth napkin just beneath the windowsill. The napkin draped over it disguises it completely from sight. The nails sink deeply into the sole of his shoe, piercing up through his foot and out through the top of his sneaker. As the nails stab through his foot, the lamb masked man, his finger involuntarily tightens on the trigger of his crossbow. An arrow shoots from the crossbow straight into the head of the tiger masked man corpse a few feet away. It knocks his head to the side, the arrow protruding from the side of his bloody forehead. The lamb masked man, frozen, lets his empty crossbow fall from his hand. He tilts his head up to the ceiling. He takes a deep breath, then another. A soft whining noise of pain comes from behind his mask. The man breathes for another second, then reaches down, gripping his leg. He slowly starts to pull it upward off the nails. Interior, Davison Mansion, master bedroom, night. Felix Z and the fox masked man are gathered around the broken bedroom window, looking outside.
Well, she can't have fucking gone far, right? We spread out now, search the backyard and the streets. We'll get her.
A masculine scream of pain comes from downstairs. They all three exchange a glance.
Would you mind checking on that?
The fox masked man hesitates.
I believe this is what I'm paying you for.
The fox masked man quickly nods and exits. Felix sits down on the bed next to Aubrey's dead body, his head in his hands.
What a fucking disaster.
Z quickly straddles him on the bed, wrapping her arms around him, comforting. Felix, exhaling, returns her embrace, holding her tightly. Z begins biting the side of Felix's neck. Felix sighs.
I'm not really in the mood right now, Z.
Come on, I can make it really quick.
Z, on top of Felix, lifts up her shirt. Small-chested, she is not wearing a bra.
I want to fuck you on a bed right next to your dead mom.
What? No!
Felix lifts Z off of him and moves away to stand by the bed. Z leans back against Aubrey's legs.
Why would you even say something like that?
You never want to do anything interesting.
I don't think that's a fair criticism.
Z sits up eagerly.
Fuck me next to your dead mom, then.
This conversation is over.
Felix exits the room. Z, sitting on the bed, despondently rubs at the crotch of her jeans for a moment, then gives an exasperated sigh. She pulls her shirt back down and follows Felix out into the hallway. Interior, Davison Mansion, front room, night. Felix moves into the front room. The fox masked man is helping the lamb masked man pull the board with nails out of his foot. The nails slide out through the sole of the lamb masked man's shoe. He makes a hissing sound as the fox masked man tosses the board aside. The lamb masked man sits back on the floor with a moan of pain. He removes his sneaker and upends it. Blood pours out onto the floor.
Whoa, hey, don't do that.
The lamb masked man looks up at Felix.
You don't want your DNA here, man.
Interior, Davison Mansion, dining room, continuous. Erin is crouched behind the curtains in the dining room, listening. She is holding very still, breathing softly. Erin reacts to the sound of Felix's voice, staring straight ahead in the dark. Interior, Davison Mansion, front room, night. The lamb masked man glares up at Felix, his eyes gleaming behind the mask's holes. Lamb masked man.
I'll clean it up later, just like the rest of the fucking mess.
Tossing his perforated sneaker to one side, the lamb mask man rises, leaning heavily to keep his weight off his wounded foot. Felix walks forward into the room. Z appears on the stairs behind him.
You say that like it's my fault.
The lamb mask man grunts.
Listen, so we're perfectly clear. I just had to kill my own brother because you guys keep getting beat up by some girl. I had to stab my brother. You were supposed to do that. And the police could be on the way here right now. Did you even take care of everyone outside?
With a grunt of pain, the lamb mask man takes a dragging step toward Felix. His eyes are fierce.
You want to talk about brothers?
The lamb mask man points to the tiger mask man on the floor.
That is my brother lying dead right there. And unlike you, I liked my brother.
Felix takes this in, regarding the tiger mask man's corpse with vague curiosity.
I'm sorry. I didn't know that. I mean, I knew you guys served together. I didn't know you were related, though. Did you shoot him in the head?
In a swift movement, the lamb mask man grabs Felix by the front of his neck and slams him against the wall, holding him there. Felix struggles for breath. The fox mask man steps forward as if to intervene, then stops when the lamb mask man looks at him. The lamb mask man returns his attention to Felix.
I am just trying to think of a reason I should not kill you.
Felix struggles to speak. Z is watching this all take place with interest.
Pay you more.
What's that?
Felix cannot speak. The lamb mask man releases him. Felix slumps forward, sucking in air. He gasps.
You kill me, you get nothing. You pull this off, I'll give you 400,000.
The lamb mask man regards Felix.
I was going to give you 2, right? But you should have your brother's share. That's only fair.
The lamb mask man looks over at his dead brother. Felix speaks quickly.
Plus, I'll throw in an extra 100 each if you can finish this. So that's 500,000 for you. 300,000 for you. I wouldn't be able to pay you until my inheritance comes through, but I'll have it soon. We just need to finish this.
The lamb mask man looks over at the fox mask man, who shrugs.
We've come this far.
The lamb mask man glances at Z, who is watching silently, then jabs Felix in the chest with a finger.
You two better be getting enough to pay us.
Would I be doing this if I weren't?
The lamb mask man nods and steps away. Suddenly, an electronic beeping noise comes from the dining room. Felix, Z, and the 2 mask killers all turn to look in this direction of the sound. Interior, Davison Mansion, dining, night. Behind the curtain, Erin fumbles frantically for her beeping cell phone, trying to silence it. She takes it quickly from her pocket. Its screen is glowing. A notice reads, "Message sent." Erin holds her breath, silently slipping her phone back into her pocket. She looks up. The curtains in front of her are yanked open. The fox mask man stands in front of Erin, staring at her. He is holding his machete in his right hand. Erin promptly punches the fox mask man in the face, cracking his mask.
Ow!
The fox mask man takes a step back, startled, and Erin runs past him, fleeing the dining room. Exterior, Davison Mansion, entryway, night. Erin runs around the fox mask man into the entryway. Felix, Z, and the lamb mask man are all in the front room staring at her. Without even glancing at them, Erin runs for the library. There is a moment of confused hesitation, then Felix runs after Erin.
Get her!
Z and the fox mask man follows Felix. The lamb mask man also awkwardly gives pursuit, limping after the others. He reaches the entryway and picks up the axe from the floor, headed for the library. Exterior, Davison Mansion, backyard, night. Erin runs from the back door in the library onto the back patio, moving quickly. Once outside, Erin immediately turns and leaps through the shattered window of the front room, jumping back into the house. She disappears from view within. A moment later, Felix emerges from the back door, followed by Z and the fox masked man. Not seeing Erin anywhere, they run into the darkness of the backyard in pursuit. Staggering slowly behind them, the lamb masked man stumbles out into the back patio, unable to put any weight on his wounded foot. He comes to a stop just outside the door, examining his injured foot and cursing softly.
Sessin Fressin.
Interior, Davison Mansion, front room, night, continuous. Inside the front room, Aaron has grabbed one of the boards with nails driven through it. Gripping the board, Aaron takes off running for the rear of the house. Interior, Davison Mansion, library, night, continuous. Aaron races through the entryway into the library where the lamb masked man is standing out on the back porch. Exterior, Davison Mansion, backyard, night, continuous. The lamb masked man looks out into the darkness of the backyard. Felix, Z, and the fox masked man are nowhere to be seen, searching for Aaron in the distance. Hearing footsteps behind him, the lamb masked man turns around. Aaron is rushing toward him through the back door, raising the board with nails driven through it over her head. The lamb masked man flinches in surprise.
Hey, what?
As Aaron swings the board down at the lamb masked man's head, he raises one hand defensively. The nails in the board go through the palm of his hand, then down into his scalp, nailing his hand to his head. The lamb masked man staggers back, dropping his axe, using his free hand to try and pry the board off his head in pinned hand. He drops to his knees on the porch, struggling to free his arm. Aaron grabs the axe up off the floor. Straightening, she swings it sideways. The blade hits the man's exposed neck, decapitating him. The lamb masked man's severed head falls forward, then swings down by his side as his arm extends, hitting the floor. His head is still attached to his hand by the board. The man's body falls on its side, his free hand falling forward to land on top of his severed head. When he comes to rest, he looks like he is holding his lamb mask severed head in both hands like a ball. Aaron blinks at this odd sight. She then turns and runs back into the house carrying the axe. Interior, Davison Mansion, entryway, night, moments later. Aaron runs into the entryway. She yanks open the basement door and grabs the folded kite inside, along with its spool of kite string. Aaron then takes a wooden chair and drags it over to the front door. She removes the screw hook from her pocket and begins driving it into the ceiling right above the door. Exterior, Davidson Mansion, front yard, night. Z, Felix, and the fox masked man stand in front of the Davison vacation house near the street, looking around for Aaron. The entire road is dark and empty.
Cops could be driving here right now for all we know. What if they come across her running down the road?
Calm down.
Why should I calm down? This entire situation's out of control. We don't even know what's going on.
Try to think positive, okay? You guys look out here. She's hurt. She's not faster than you. Stick to the road. You don't see her, head back here.
Z nods.
Where are you going?
Back into the house to check on Craig and see if she doubled back on us.
Why would she do that?
It's what I'd do.
The fox masked man turns away toward the house.
Hey, give us the crossbow.
The fox masked man turns back.
We don't have any weapons.
The fox masked man looks down at the crossbow. He locks a bolt into it, then proffers it to Felix.
You know how to use this?
Felix takes the crossbow, hefting it.
You pull the trigger, arrow shoots, right?
Yeah. Be careful with that. There's 2 more bolts on the base there. That's 3 shots, got it? You see her, you be sure to aim carefully.
Of course.
Felix takes off running down the street. The fox masked man looks at Z, who smiles at him and runs after Felix. The fox masked man sighs and walks up to the house. Interior, Davison Mansion, entryway, night. Aaron, standing on the chair, finishes tying a piece of kite string attached to the ceiling with a slip knot. She steps off the chair to admire her work. Using the hanging hole in the bottom of its handle as a fulcrum, Aaron has suspended the axe from the ceiling with kite string. The string is attached to the door handle, then tied to the door's deadbolt lock. The other end of the string winds up, looping from the blade of the axe to the ceiling's light fixture. The base of the axe is held by the screw hook, and the back of the blade is braced with a brick. So that, if someone opens the front door, the slip knots will pull tight, come undone, and the weighted axe will swing down into their face. Aaron smiles, satisfied at this setup. She then looks toward the front room as the fox masked man steps in through the broken window. They stare at each other.
Shit.
Aaron runs for the basement door. Interior, Davison Mansion, basement night. Aaron races down the basement steps. Reaching the bottom of the stairs, she grabs a log off the wood pile. In a swift movement, she swings it up toward the bare light bulb hanging from the ceiling, breaking the bulb. The basement goes completely dark. A moment later, the fox mask man appears at the top of the basement steps, holding the fire poker. He is illuminated by light from the hallway. The fox mask man flicks the light switch on the wall, off and on. Nothing happens. He chuckles.
I've got pretty good night vision, you know. Not a lot of street lights out in the desert, just the moon and stars.
The fox mask man begins slowly making his way down the stairs into the dark basement. He reaches the bottom of the stairs and turns to survey the dark basement, listening carefully. Suddenly, a pale light flashes, briefly illuminating the room. Erin is standing on the other side of the room, holding out her digital camera, using its flash to see. The light dies and the basement is dark again, except for the dim light of the camera's view screen. On the screen is the image of the fox masked man. On the other side of the room, facing toward Erin, the photo she just took. The fox masked man, seeing the light of the camera screen and hearing motion behind it, chuckles again. He cannot see Erin, but he can see the dim light moving slightly, then going still. He begins slowly making his way toward it. The camera flash goes again. This time, the image on the screen is of the man's masked face right in front of the camera. With a yell, the fox masked man jabs the fire poker above the camera where Erin's face should be. Instead, he hits the wall.
Ah!
Okay. A moment later, the fox mask man grunts as he is hit from behind. The flash goes again, filling the room with white light. The camera is clamped into a vise on the tool shelf. Its camera timer is on, taking photos every 10 seconds. The fox mask man is on his knees. Erin, standing behind him, brings the log down on his head. The room goes dark. The sound of wood hitting flesh comes repeatedly. The camera flashes again. The fox masked man is on the floor in a pool of blood. His hands spasm, trying to protect his face. Darkness, more pounding. The camera flashes again. The fox masked man is a bloody pulp, smeared across the concrete floor. Erin is standing in front of the vise, reaching for the camera. Her face is splattered with blood. The room goes dark again as Erin audibly unlocks the vise, releasing her camera. Visible in the dim light from the screen, she makes her way for the stairs, panting from exertion. Interior, Davison Mansion, entryway, night. Erin emerges from the basement. She looks around. The house is quiet. Erin heads for the front room. Interior, Davison Mansion, front room, night. Reaching the front room, Erin picks up the knife from the floor. She then straightens and turns towards the window to climb outside. A crossbow arrow hits Erin in the side of her chest, knocking her to the floor. Exterior, Davison Mansion, front yard, night. Felix is crouched in the front yard, aiming the crossbow. Z stands next to him. They watch as Erin falls back inside the house, disappearing from view. Felix straightens up, looking.
How about that? First try.
Felix hands the crossbow to Z.
Go make sure she's dead, okay?
Z nods, grinning, as Felix heads over towards the rental car parked in the driveway. Z walks through the front yard to the Davison vacation house, strapping another bolt into the crossbow. She reaches the broken front room window and looks inside. Erin's body is nowhere to be seen. Tariq's corpse is the only one on the floor. The tiger masked man's body is also missing. Z does not appear to notice this.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Felix, she's alive!
Keeping the crossbow in front of her, Z steps through the shattered window into the house. Interior, Davison Mansion, front room, night. As Z enters the front room, a distant noise comes from the kitchen. Z aims the crossbow toward the entryway. Nothing is there. Moving quietly, Z walks into the entryway toward the kitchen, her crossbow in front of her. Exterior, Davison Mansion, driveway continuous. Felix is standing behind the rental car. Its trunk is open. He is holding a 6-channel cellular jammer, basically the size of a clock radio. He tosses it back in the trunk.
What? Seriously?
Felix takes a buck knife out of the bag, then slams the trunk shut. He walks back to the house, flicking the knife blade open. Interior, Davison Mansion, kitchen, night. Z moves inside the kitchen, aiming the crossbow around. The kitchen appears empty. Z's eyes narrow, scanning the darkness. From around the kitchen counter, the silhouette of a body slumps into view, seated on the floor. The head turns as if peering towards Z. An arrow visibly protrudes from the body's chest. Z smiles. She immediately takes aims and fires. The arrow hits the body in the head. Z's smile widens. The body slumps down onto the floor, now in clear view. Z stops smiling. The corpse is that of the tiger masked man. Behind his dead body, Aaron rises up from behind the counter, facing Z. She is holding a meat cleaver.
Hey, Z.
Z quickly scrambles, trying to reload the crossbow. Aaron rushes towards Z, raising the cleaver. At the last moment, Z realizes she cannot load the crossbow in time and raises it defensively, dropping the arrows to the floor. Aaron swings the cleaver. Z blocks it with the crossbow. The cleaver embeds itself in the wooden stock of the crossbow. Aaron releases the cleaver and grabs Z by her hair, dragging her further into the kitchen. Behind them, Felix appears in the kitchen doorway, holding his knife. He sees the two girls struggling.
Hey!
In a swift movement, Aaron grabs the pot of oil off the stove and flings its contents at Felix, splashing him in half the room with oil. Felix flinches, then stares down at himself.
Huh? It's not hot anymore, you dumb bitch.
Felix takes a step forward, slips on the oil, and falls, catching himself on the counter. Z hisses, clawing at Aaron's face. Aaron spins the pot around in her head brings it down on Z's head. Z sprawls to the floor, sliding on the slick linoleum. Felix rises to his feet, raising his knife. Aaron swings a cabinet door open, hitting Felix with it, then grabs a jar out of the cabinet and throws it at his head. Felix manages to duck. The jar hits the wall behind him and shatters. Z leaps on Aaron from behind. Aaron bashes Z's head against the wall and lets her drop to the floor again. Felix's knife stabs down into Aaron's shoulder. He wrenches it out to stab her again in the same place. Aaron grabs a glass blender off the counter with her unwounded arm, spins, and smashes it on Felix's head, breaking the glass. Felix slumps onto the floor and Aaron stabs him in the face with the broken, jagged glass of the blender's top, jamming the blades of its base into its head. Felix struggles. Aaron grabs the blender cord and plugs it into a wall socket. Aaron stomps down on the bottom of the blender with her foot, holding it in place and pinning Felix to the kitchen counter. She reaches toward her foot and switches the blender on. The blender's blades spin, blood gushing out around the glass as the blender destroys Felix's skull. Z, seeing this, rises up screaming, grabbing a rolling pin. Still holding the blender in Felix's head with her foot, Aaron turns, wrenches the knife out of her shoulder and stabs it down into the top of Z's head. Z's eyes roll up and she falls back to the floor, dead. Felix, seated on the floor with the blender drilling into his head, is also obviously dead. Aaron unplugs the blender from the wall and lets Felix fall to the floor. The blender is still stuck in the remains of his face. Aaron is soaked with blood. Blood flows from the wounds in her shoulder and chest. Covering her wounds with one hand, Aaron starts to limp out of the kitchen. She is pale and looks faint. Aaron stops moving when she hears a cell phone ring behind her. Aaron turns back towards Felix's body. His cell phone is ringing. Aaron carefully kneels down and removes the cell phone from Felix's jacket pocket. She flips it open and holds it in one ear. Crispin's voice comes from the phone.
Felix?
Exterior, Davison Mansion, front yard, night. Crispin, dressed as before, makes his way up through the front lawn toward the front room window of his family's vacation house. He is talking into a smartphone.
Hey, Felix, is it all done in there or what? I saw that my signal came back. Is it over?
Silence on the other end of the line. Crispin sighs.
Look, I know you're pissed at me for not helping out. I just couldn't do it, man. I told you this might happen.
Crispin steps into through the front room window. Interior, Davison Mansion, front room, night. Crispin avoids the boards with nails on the floor, regarding them with confusion. He continues speaking into the phone.
Jeez, what do you want me to say?
The phone disconnects. Crispin looks down at it, puzzled.
Felix?
Erin steps into the front room, holding Felix's cell phone. In her other hand, she has a steak knife. Crispin blinks, then breaks into a wide smile.
Erin, you're okay.
Erin says nothing. She lets Felix's cell phone drop from her hand to the floor.
Where's Felix?
Stuck a blender in his head and killed him.
Oh. Okay.
Erin sways on her feet, looking weak from blood loss.
Can't believe it. You were in on it.
Crispin shrugs weakly.
Come on, baby. You know how broke I am, right?
You would have killed me.
No, that was never supposed to happen.
Crispin takes a step closer to Erin.
You were supposed to be the witness, a person with a clean record who could attest that our parents and older siblings were murdered by unknown lunatics. It was, in fact, a very important part of my plan that you be unharmed. We needed someone with no motive to see what had happened here. Someone other than Z, obviously.
Crispin hesitates, looking around.
Where is Z?
I killed her too.
Listen, I'm sorry things got out of control. How are we supposed to know that you were really good at killing people? Which is actually sort of weird, by the way. If you'd reacted, well, normally, my parents and older siblings would have been killed, you would have been untouched, and I'd be rich. We'd be on our way to, like, a vacation in Paris.
Erin regards Crispin with empty eyes.
There is a silver lining here, by the way. I'm now the sole inheritor of my family's estate. Baby, we're talking millions.
Crispin takes another step forward, now arm's length from Erin.
Look, regardless of, like, us or whatever happens with us, it would be insane to throw that away.
Crispin gestures around at the dead bodies that surround them.
I mean, look at all that would be wasted.
Erin stares at him.
Even if you hadn't meant to kill me, you must have known I could have died.
I could have died too.
Erin blinks. Crispin reaches out hesitantly and puts his hand on Erin's uninjured shoulder.
I understand it might take a while to make this up to you, but in the meantime, I know you've got your student loans. How would $500,000 go towards fixing that problem? You could quit your bartending job to study full time. You know you hate that job.
Erin just stares at Crispin. He shakes his head.
You could have $500,000 within the month. Or I go to jail and you get nothing. You go back to counting every penny. And what's that get you? The damage is already done. You're okay, baby. You're alive. That's what matters.
Erin looks down at herself. She is covered with blood, most of it hers. Crispin nods quickly.
You're right. You got involved. You should have had at least $1 million. At least. Tell me what you need. But you could have $1 million. Think of what that would mean.
Erin looks up at Crispin and smiles. Not recognizing the strangeness of her smile, Crispin smiles back.
Hey, I promised you I'd come back, didn't I? I always keep my promises, baby.
In a quick motion, Erin raises the steak knife and stabs Crispin in the side of his neck. Crispin clutches his neck, blood gushing out around his fingers. He falls forward to his knees, staring up at Erin. Erin raises the bloody knife. Crispin tries to speak.
Why?
Why the fuck not?
Erin stabs Crispin again, this time in the eye, piercing his brain. Blood bursts from Erin's right shoulder with the sound of a gunshot. She is knocked against the wall. Erin slumps to the floor next to Crispin's dead body. She has been shot in the shoulder. In shock, she stares out the window. Exterior, Davison Vacation Home, night. A uniformed police officer in his late 20s, Officer Trubiano, stands outside in the front yard, holding his smoking .38 revolver in a firing stance, aiming it in through the window. Behind Officer Trubiano, his squad car is visible, parked on the street. Its lights are off. Officer Trubiano shouts in at Aaron.
Do not move. Do you hear me?
Aaron, slumped on the floor inside, clearly could not move even if she wanted to. She does not react to the officer's words, looking out at him blankly. Moving closer to the dining room window, Officer Trubiano looks inside and sees Amy, Kelly, and Tariq's bodies. His face crumples.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Keeping his gun aimed at Aaron through the window, Officer Trubiano makes his way to the front door of the house. He transfers the gun to his left hand and turns the doorknob. Interior, Davison Vacation Home dining room, evening. Aaron watches the doorknob turn on the inside of the front door. Blood is soaking her left arm and she is breathing shallowly. She blinks slowly, focusing her eyes. The doorknob is still attached with the slip knot to the string leading up to the ceiling. Aaron's eyes widen slightly.
No, don't.
Aaron's voice is barely a whisper, almost inaudible. Officer Trubiano opens the front door, moving his gun quickly to cover Aaron. Above him, the string whips up from the doorframe. The weighted axe above the door swings down into Officer Trubiano's face. His head splits in half. Insert title, your. Insert title, next. In credits.
Woo!
Very good, everybody.
Oh my God. This movie has the neatest kills of like just any, oh my gosh, amazing. Amazing.
It's
And
hard
you-
to talk about which mask is which, though. Lamb, tiger.
I'm gonna be honest with you. When you took over, and I realized why Jamie took the first half.
I didn't intend for it to be like that, but it worked out like that. Accidentally. That was not my master plan, I promise.
That's fine. I got water.
Your evil scheme.
Thank you all so much. You all are amazing as always.
I had fun being an asshole.
It's
Oh,
way
I-
more fun being a villain.
It is.
Oh my God, playing Mary Beth was so fun when we did the faculty. Oh my gosh.
I loved all
we're
the
gonna
little
be
props and sound effects you guys had.
You could have 500,000 within the next month.
Truly wish
Call
I had
JG Wentworth.
7 cash now.
I have a motor club with my family and I need cash now.
I wish I hadn't woken up at 12:45 so I could have had better time to prepare.
I'm just glad you got to actually be in it, that it worked out so well. I was like, no.
It doesn't show up for a little bit because like I woke up 45 minutes late and I was still able to be here for the first line.
I'm so glad it worked out. Oh my God, it could not have been more perfect, honestly. But we're gonna come back for Christmas. We're definitely gonna do Black Christmas 74. Could do something else as a surprise. I don't know.
May I suggest for Black Christmas that we do it earlier in the afternoon because I'm fairly certain my church will have Zoom services that evening. That's what we've been doing for the past year.
Why not both?
We're gonna do church and abortions at the same time.
Exactly. I mean, my pastor has a cartoon on her office door that has like Mary and Joseph lying next to each other in bed looking kind of like blah. And the caption is God is a hard act to follow. I think she'd be cool with that.
Oh my God,
Okay,
she's
guys,
awesome.
I gotta run, but thank you.
Thank you. Aaron
Everyone's
has
so
finally
good.
happened.
I know, iconic.
The Aaronosity of it all.
Guys.
Thank you.
Aaron squared.
See you soon, I hope.
I'm also going to go because I had a very light lunch and I'm starving and I can smell someone making pot pie downstairs.
Oh,
Okay, so
I also
guys,
do too.
goodbye.
So-
And thank you all for tuning in.
Yes.
It's a little weird recording these and not having a live audience, but this has been really fun. And we're going to do some more for you guys because it looks like, you know what? Lockdown's just not going to end.
Neither is the killing.
The killing and the lockdown are not going to end anytime soon. So thank you all so much.
Stay safe. Wear a fucking mask.
Absolutely.
Dude, I've been doing that since March 30th.